I was with you on first-team All-SEC quarterback.
Danny DeVito Tebow.
Yeah, DeVito Tebow. We got to give up on DeVito Tebow as first-team All-SEC quarterback. I mean, they played at Auburn and went 2 consecutive quarters without completing a pass. He was 9 of 22.
Okay, well, you tell me who that quarterback is.
Jackson Dart right now. It's going to be my all-conference
until he throws 3 against.
Yeah, but we got to back off this Diego Pavia all-conference. I was on with you, Lance. I was on with you, but when you're 9 of 22 in a game,
DeVito Tebow, man.
DeVito Tebow, I don't think can be our all-conference quarterback here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But it seems like there should be a place that we can put him on the all-SEC first team.
Team leader
or alternate, whatever that.
He might be second team.
That total yards position is.
Yeah.
That's our spotlight. Spotlight today brought to you by our friends at McCurry.
McCurryRentals.com. That's where you start with McCurryRentals.com.
Yeah. Overtime coming up in just a second. We will hear from Kalen DeBoer about Alabama coming off the bye week, playing at LSU. EG is over there. She will have on our platform assistant coaches and other stuff throughout the day with Taylor Korn at Next Round Live. Forrester working on that as he always does as well. Big shout out to Haley Forrester, who had a little procedure over the weekend. She's at home recovering today. We've all been thinking about her. Part of the family up here. And we appreciate you guys being part of it as well, being with us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and thumbs up depending on what platform you're on. Lance has procured coming up with Unlocked in about an hour after we do a little overtime here. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, CoverCrimson.com and TheBarnAuburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or TheBarnAuburn.com. Sign up today.
We talk about all the biggest games every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt. Presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on The Next Round.
Happy football season. At The Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, CoverCrimson.com and TheBarnAuburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or TheBarnAuburn.com. Sign up today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, live show today as we get going on a Tuesday after a very exciting Monday night in Monday Night Football. College basketball got going, and it's election day, not only in America, but in the college football playoffs. We'll talk about all those things coming up as we roll through the day, including Payton Thorne, who will be with us coming up momentarily as we talk about Auburn's bye week as they get ready coming up a little bit later on in the season to try to turn things around. We'll start, though, with what we saw last, which was Monday Night Football. We'll get to the basketball that happened in our state, including number 2 Alabama with a big win. Taylor and I are there covering it for you on social media last night. But on Monday Night Football, my Buccaneers to lose a game with Kansas City, gutsy effort. But everyone's talking about 2-point conversion, do it or don't do it at the end. I saw something in analytics. I was just telling you guys, your chance of winning if you go for 2 is 41.2%. And this is the world we live in. If you go to overtime, it's 42.8%. I assume that factors in the winning the coin toss.
Yeah, it's got to.
Which
Kansas City.
which they didn't do.
Nope.
But to me, when you don't have your 2 best players and you've played Kansas City to have one play to, not necessarily win the game because it is Patrick Mahomes and he'll have 27 seconds to get into field goal range.
More on that in a moment.
Yeah. Well, it was a minute and a half. I mean.
No. It was when he was down, there was 39 seconds. You called a timeout. That's where y'all really screwed up.
Horrible at the
end. I don't know why you call a timeout. And Troy Aikman and I watched on the Manning cast too. Both Aikman and Manning were like, "Don't call a timeout. Why are you calling a timeout?"
Yeah.
I don't know what Todd Bowles was thinking.
It just gives the greatest greatest guy in use of the clock at the end of the game. It gives
more time,
a free timeout.
And worst cases, you force, like Kansas City's discombobulated, and you force them to use a timeout. That's what you would really love, but. There was no reason for Tampa to use a timeout right there. Let that clock run. Manning was saying every NFL team has a designated call where you scramble to the line and run a quarterback sneak. He said every team in the NFL, he goes, it's different.
Bandit.
Yeah, something. He goes, there's a name for it. He goes, it may be as simple. What is Baker's number? Baker Mayfield. Do you know his number?
Number 6.
6. He said it might be as simple as 6666666 because that's his number. Well, you want to go more than 3. You want to go more than 3. But that's his number, and that's what Manning's saying. He's like, you got to use that. Don't call a timeout. Control the clock and keep their defense on their heels.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I would say.
But 2-point conversion. Okay. To me, anytime you put the pressure back on the other, I mean, you may lose right there, but my goodness, you're in a situation where you don't have your 2 best players, extending the game. On that side of the ball where you don't have your 2 best players in Godwin and Evans, put it back on the defense.
Well, and I've seen it.
Get the lead, win it 20, be up 25-24, and force Mahomes and them to make plays.
Seen Kansas City in overtime too many times. Just get the ball, go straight down, score a touchdown.
Lost. He's never lost in overtime.
Add that to your analytics. Yeah. By the way, is that an actual stat?
Yeah, he's never lost a regular season overtime game.
I can totally believe that.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. This team in the NFL has won 14 consecutive games going back to the postseason last year. Because this year they're the only undefeated team at 8-0. But only 2 of their wins are by double digits, and they just haven't been dominant. A lot of it is Pat Mahomes. They just find ways to win. But I'll tell you, man, DeAndre Hopkins, the impact that he was last night, once he really gets comfortable in this offense.
Yeah, that's only week 2 to your point.
Yeah, he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say. And I said the same thing about Billy Napier at Tennessee. He had one play to win the game. From the 3, by the way.
Yeah, and if you ask before the game starts, if you've got this situation,
right,
are you going to take it?
Yeah.
On the road, in Neyland, on the road, in Arrowhead.
You've got one down from the 3, and in this case, one down from the 2, whatever, to win the game. will you take that? Every coach in America is like, yeah, I'll take that at Neyland or at Arrowhead.
And I'll tell you, Baker was playing great. Now, the problem is down there on the goal line, Cade Otton is the only weapon you had all night.
That's right. You don't have Mike Evans to legally push off like he always does. You don't have Chris Godwin on the slant. So you've taken away your weapons.
I would just say this, Jim, and I wanted you to go for 2 because here's how I would look at it. And you can call this analytics. I don't know if the analytics support this. In this hand, I've got 1 play to win the game.
Yep.
Now, look, I get that Kansas City is going to get it back, and he may drive down and kick an extra point, okay? Or a field goal.
Yeah.
Sorry. Butker is really good in those situations. I get it.
And Mahomes is really good.
Yep.
I mean, he's done it in, what was it? Was it the reason I brought up 27
he
seconds?
did it like 12 seconds against the Bills that one time.
It was less than 27 seconds. Yeah.
So I've got that on one hand, right? I got 1 play to, I think, win the game. On the other hand, it's going to come down to a 50-50 coin toss, as most NFL overtimes do, especially if I'm on the road in Kansas City. Like, Jim just gave you the odds on them winning in overtime. Lance, if they win the toss and take the ball, what do you think the actual odds are on them winning the game with that one drive?
Oh, Tampa?
No. Kansas City at home.
Yeah. Kansas City at home, 30%.
Yeah, right now
only 30.
Right now it's 100%. He's never lost a
I know. No, I'm just saying. I feel like if I'm a coach and
going down and getting a touchdown. I mean, in those conditions, I mean that's really difficult. Now they did it, and I'm not surprised at all. I don't know about you guys. When my team goes to overtime, as they did on Sunday, when they do I always call out like tails. Stafford goes heads. It's
like,
tails.
No. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I mean, you just feel like if you lose the toss in the
over.
NFL, you're going to lose the game.
So the last thing I want is Kansas City winning the toss, getting the ball at home, and Patrick Mahomes being the quarterback. The minute they won that toss, I knew the game was over, Jim.
Yep.
And that's why I just think these coaches overthink it. Go for 2. First of all, don't call the timeout.
Yep.
And second of all, go for 2.
And just I know none of you pay attention to the Bucs. They are dominating the Ravens. And then Mike Evans to go up, I think, 17, balls off his fingertips, and his hamstring explodes. Mm-hmm. And he falls to the ground. Ravens come back, annihilate the Buccaneers. Then they lose without Evans and Godwin. They lose Godwin later that game, too. So their 2 top receivers in franchise history are now out, and they lose a game to the Falcons that probably could have won that game. That's another loss. Now they've lost twice to the Falcons in the division, and then you play the unbeaten Chiefs, and then you have a chance to go for 2 and put pressure on Kansas City. You don't do that. You kick it and you lose in overtime. So now you're 2 games back of the Falcons. You're 1 game under 500 with all the injuries. Gutsy quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Love him to death as my quarterback. I don't know about the schedule, though. Did we win the Super Bowl last year? I mean, I just named for you.
That's a fallacy.
Just named you Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs. I think it's the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey next.
It's a fallacy. Everybody thinks because you win the Super Bowl, you get the hardest schedule. That has never been the way it works.
It's still a joke schedule coming up.
It became an urban legend.
Don't we have McCaffrey, and then it gets easier after that? If somehow we would have won that game last night.
Yeah, but this Tampa team's not good.
Yeah, it's gutsy.
3 consecutive losses. But I mean, think about that. If you imagine if your Dolphins or my Rams had this schedule coming up. So 49ers at home, but then the Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers much improved, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
Yeah, Cowboys.
I mean, that is an absolute joke of a schedule.
Cowboys just put Dak on the IR, so he may not even come back this year. They could be out of it by the time that 4 games is up.
Kansas City 8-0. I mean, you talk about schedules. 2 with the Broncos.
They're going to lose one of those.
Yeah, they will.
I've already told you that.
Carolina, Las Vegas, the Chargers, Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh, and the Bills.
I mean, Houston, Pittsburgh, and the Bills.
That's
tough.
a tough finish.
Chargers are tough, and the Broncos are tough.
Oh, okay. No, they're going to lose to the Broncos. I've told you that. They'll lose to the Broncos at home. In fact, I think it's next week, isn't it? Is it that their next game? I think they've got their loss. I think they've got their loss coming up against the Broncos at home
next week.
I told you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably need to lose one.
Well, I mean, I just think the odds catch up with you at some point. Nobody goes undefeated in the NFL. So, I mean, they're going to lose a game at some point. You watch the Chiefs. Do they look like just this dominant, unbeatable team?
No, but go back and look at the Dolphins in 72. I guarantee you, I have no memory of this, but I bet you if you go back and look at the only perfect team to do it through the Super Bowl, if you go back and look, it's the NFL, man. I bet they weren't dominant. I bet they were a lot of 1-3, 5, 7-point wins.
And that was a different game back then.
Yeah. I mean, look, and I'm not going to doubt them because they've won back-to-back Super Bowls, but it just doesn't look like the same Kansas City team.
Well, you just said DeAndre Hopkins is going to be.
Yeah, that could be a massive difference.
Kelsey had 100 yards last night in receiving, was fantastic.
I mean, Kareem Hunt is your go-to back, and he's been good.
Right.
But, how much tread does Kareem Hunt have left?
I know. That guy's been in the league forever.
It's a crazy sport. But Kansas City with the win last night. They're now 8-0. Todd Bowles said it was wet field conditions why he didn't go for 2 there. 14 straight there for Kansas City.
I just drove down the field in those same conditions, but I'm not going to go for this.
3 more yards or 2 more yards. So there you go. That's the NFL last night. Other news from the NFL, Dak Prescott to miss several games now, likely a 4-game IR stint, which means it's Cooper Rush time for the 3-5 Cowboys. And if not Cooper Rush, I quizzed Brown on this. Do you know who QB3 is in Dallas?
QB3 in Dallas.
One time traded up for by a franchise to get him high in the first round. And ended up stumbling into a better quarterback situation.
It took me a minute to work my way to this.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to go down as one of the worst draft picks of all time, but the franchise somehow flourished after doing it. It is
Trey Lance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did know that.
I mean, I did too.
Yeah.
I finally got around to guessing it, but you normally don't survive that bad of a draft pick. I mean, that's an awful draft pick. To think that they traded up.
Well, here's how you survive it. When Mr. Irrelevant turns into a frontline quarterback.
You fall backwards into Mr. Irrelevant actually being a good quarterback.
Right.
I mean, that was the luckiest thing to ever happen to them. Such luck.
Payton Thorne coming up. The show being brought to you by a couple of folks. We'll jump into basketball in just a second. Hemphill's. Let me do Ghost first because since my coach last night
ghosted the
2-point conversion. Let's go with Ghost Energy here. This segment brought to you by our friends Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration. Authentic flavors, 0 sugars, no BS. Look for Ghost Energy, Ghost Hydration at all retailers that sell this wonderful energy and hydration drink. It's Ghost Energy. Look at the flavors there. I love the one on the far left that's sort of a Diet Mountain Dew-like taste to it there. It is a wonderful array of flavors, all sorts, with our friends at Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration. Authentic flavors, 0 sugars, and no BS. LancesLock.com brought to you by Hemphill. On the right side last night on Monday Night Football?
We weren't on the right side of Monday Night Football, but we were 7-4. So
that's a lot of basketball games you played.
It was just an hour and a half to go through the games.
And you ended up playing 10 of them.
I ended up playing on the college basketball 8, 2 NBA.
Some NBA, okay.
Yeah, so 2-0 NBA, 5-3 in college. And unfortunately, we had the Chiefs minus the 9, couldn't get home last night. But Lance's Lock up on board more college hoops and college football on a Tuesday night with the MAC. Again, brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your heating, cooling, and plumbing issues. They are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
In college basketball last night, Samford, NCAA tournament team, opened up with an easy win at home. UAB, NCAA tournament team, opened up with a loss to Vermont, 67-62. Vermont will play Auburn in their season opener tomorrow night at Neville, so they're staying in town. UAB went 0 of 10 from three-point range. It's the first time they haven't hit a three-pointer since 2013, January 12th, 2013. They lose 67-62. Without hitting a three, they were tied 60-60 with $1:23 left. Yax Lindenberg, 22 points, 15 rebounds, but not enough as UAB loses a tough one to start the season with a roster that is picked to win the American.
Vermont's one of those teams that always seem to have a really good mid-major program, but that was, I think UAB was a 6.5-point favorite in that game. Hard to win a game in college basketball when you don't hit any shots from the perimeter.
Yeah, first of all, you're only shooting 10.
Yeah, that was an interesting number to me, more so than the 0, actually.
Yeah, 0 of 10, but I guess if you haven't hit one, you're reluctant to shoot one.
Of course, that's about like Alabama shooting 18 last night, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, it was a different Alabama game.
Still scored 110.
Getting to Alabama real quickly, Cooper Flagg debuted last night. He's the Duke star, 18.7 rebounds, 5 of 6. They killed Maine. If he stayed up late, Gonzaga annihilated Baylor. Now this is number 6 versus number 8, 2 top 10 teams.
Best game of the night is what everybody was saying.
Gonzaga won the game 101-63.
That's a beatdown.
Yeah. That's payback for a couple of years ago. I was all over the Zags. One of my losers in college hoops last night was Baylor.
Yeah, you had Baylor again?
I played the points. I did have Ohio State upsetting Texas, but boy, this Gonzaga team is legitimate.
Yeah.
Could this be the year?
Is this it?
Yeah, already could this be the year? Already had a court rush last night. Taylor was berserk last night on the drive back. What is UCF doing? It's night 1 of college basketball. You're already rushing the court?
Yeah, they beat Duke, North Carolina.
They beat Texas A&M.
Oh.
Yeah, but 13th ranked Texas A&M.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, you didn't exactly beat a blue blood.
Was a nationally ranked court rush last night in night 1 of college basketball. As her and I were joking on the way back from Tuscaloosa, they were like, calm down, bro, man. It's a long ride. It's a long season here. But we were in Tuscaloosa to watch number 2 Alabama last night. They beat UNC Asheville 110-54. Mark Sears with 20 points. 50th game of 20 or more for Mark Sears in his abbreviated Alabama basketball career, because remember, he played elsewhere first, so he transferred in. Already 50 20-plus games. With Mark, they still managed to get 6 guys into double figures. They had 10 guys score, Lance, in the first 8 minutes of the basketball game.
Look, this offense, the entire team, but, to go 50 in the first half, 60 in the second half, didn't play their brand of basketball, only shooting the 18 threes. And Mark Sears, when's the last time you saw him under 30 minutes? Only played 25 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, not in the preseason. He played more than that in the preseason games we did.
Both of them.
Over
30 minutes.
Yeah, to Lance's point earlier, when you see Alabama shoot 18 threes, only 18 threes, and make only 8 and still score 110,
yep.
That says something. Now, look, they're going to play tougher teams than UNC Asheville. I completely understand that. They couldn't do that against a top-level SEC team. But it does say something about the versatility, Jim, of their offense, that it's not just shoot and make threes, that they can score a lot of ways right now.
A lot more at the rim, a lot more size. You saw Aiden Sherrill for the first time with 9 rebounds. He got the hard hat. Amori was everything he was advertised to be, including 16 points. Was a force at the rim. Here's Nate Oates afterwards, and for him, it's about defense this year. I mean, he loved the defensive effort last night. Here's the Alabama coach.
How much better equipped do you think this team is to be a good defensive team from a length and personnel standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it early in the game. They couldn't get a shot off. I mean, we were blocking shots. Barron had a block. Darian had a block. Jaron Stevenson. I mean, you look down the list. We had 4 different guys at blocks with, Jaron, Darian. Barron's got length at the guard spot. Cliff's obviously a big-time rim protector. He had 2 blocks tonight. So, but then we also got guys that Mo Diabate's got length. Grant Nelson's got length. I think we can be a great defensive team if we continue to keep the right mindset. We held them to a .74, which, which is good, very good. I mean, I think we can be better. We give up too many old boards. We fouled 3-point shooters twice, which isn't good defense. But I thought it was a good first game.
Yeah, 16 from Amori, 13 from Wrightsville, 11 from Mo Diabate, who's Brown, as we saw, improved his offense a lot. Aiden Holloway had 11. And LeBaron Philon, 10 points, 9 assists. He's a guy who just makes good things happen on the court. Alabama plays Friday against Arkansas State. Auburn opens up tomorrow night to start the basketball season on a roll. So off and rolling here, the show being brought to you in part by our friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's, LT. Tomorrow night's trivia night again.
Yep, tomorrow night, me and Brown, Will Haver will be out there. The original location in Crestline. Get there early. We start about 8 o'clock inside or outside on that patio. Enjoy some great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers. Our man Dave Scroggins sent me a DM asking what to get at Odie's last night. I told him to go with the Diablo sandwich.
Yes, sir.
He said he didn't do it. He said he couldn't get that daring. He went with the big bacon cheeseburger.
All right, not going to go wrong there.
Hamburgers are always good there.
This is chilly weather, too. It needs to be a little bit colder, but with this mist outside, fall in full effect with the election here. Sit out, enjoy a big bowl of that chili, ice-cold beer bucket full of Bud Light. Celebrate Election Day at Odie's. 2 locations, the original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood.
445 is, I guess,
5 o'clock is when little T and I started heading to Tuscaloosa. And the fact that we drove into a sunset as we were driving over there is just criminal, man. It's that it gets,
at that time of day?
It gets dark. At 5 o'clock rush hour and it's dark, man. Come on.
I will tell you, though, man,
I was
sitting out on the screen den last night and watching your Bucks lose to Kansas City and just hearing those leaves whip around.
Yeah, did you like it?
I mean, it was just so fall-like.
I know.
What wasn't cool enough.
I know.
But really, really close.
I mean, my 10-year-old last night was like, we only get 2 hours to play after school now. I mean, she was so bummed that they only get 2 hours outside. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I hate it too, but
tell her to set that alarm. She can get an hour in the morning.
That's right. Go out and play in the yard.
Sun's up now early.
But remind them, back in the day when we had 2 hours, there was nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, once you came in, I was watching Dick Vitale on a big Monday.
Hey, those big Mondays, not so bad.
I love the big Mondays.
Not so bad.
You have one memory that jumps, and I'll never forget my one memory.
Of Big Monday? So for the youngs out there, that was when ESPN on Monday night would show a Big East game, a Big Ten game, not
Big
always
Eight.
a triple header, but Big Eight. It'd be a double header out of those two leagues, right?
Yeah,
they never had a triple header, did they? Early Big East, middle Big Ten, and late Big Eight.
I don't think we went late Big Eight.
No,
I think it was Big East, Big Eight.
I thought the Big Ten had one in there too.
I thought it was just I thought it was just a doubleheader of 6 and an 8.
No, I'm saying, but it would come from those three conferences, right?
It was the Big Ten, wasn't it? It wasn't the Big Eight, was it?
Maybe it wasn't Big 8. Then I misspoke on
No,
that. I know it was the Big
They
East.
had SEC Big 8 Tuesday, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because my one memory was when Sean Miller was running the point for Pittsburgh. He gives it up to Jerome Lane. He flushes it. Backboard shatters.
Yeah.
It was Super Tuesday with the SEC.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was just so exciting back in the day to see a backboard shattered.
All I know is that those Big East games were wars every time.
Yeah.
I mean, you had those great Georgetown teams, the great Villanova teams you were talking
St.
about.
John's was good back
I mean,
then,
it was just a war every night.
Good time. And tonight, we get the opportunity to watch the first ever 12-team playoff release. And one of the questions is, how do you release it? We talked about this a little bit last week. Have you gotten any intel how they were going to release it? I think you have to release 6 o'clock ESPN, by the way, tonight, 6 o'clock Central if you're watching us on the East Coast. To me, as a playoff committee, you made the point, Brown, you got to release just your top 25 and let ESPN, after the commercial break, throw it into a bracket or whatever and discuss it afterwards.
I do think that there will be one segment on the best of the best when it comes to the Group 5. Now, there is separation when you look at Boise State.
Right.
Because, I think Boise State's going to end up being – I think they might be in the top 10.
That's right. Well, let me ask that question because that's one of several questions I have tonight. Where is Boise State?
Okay, so right now they are 14 in the coaches, 12 in the AP. I think they're right around 10.
I had them at 11.
I mean, if you look at the best quality loss in football is Ohio State's 1-point loss.
At Oregon?
At Oregon.
Yep.
The second best you can make an argument was Boise State's 3-point loss.
I don't disagree.
Also at Oregon.
At Oregon. Yeah. And again, these points count, but it took 2 kick returns for Oregon to win that game. They returned a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown. Again, those points.
The game against Boise.
Yeah. Those points count. But yeah, Lance, I guess 11, 10 or 11. I mean, the key is to see if they're in front of BYU, which I don't think they will be. Do you guys think they will be?
I think there's a chance BYU is not
in the 12.
Is not in the 12. I mean, they'll be ranked. They'll be in the playoff bracket.
Right,
they'll be the highest Big 12. There's a chance they're 13th, and that's because they're not getting a lot of national love. But when you look at their resume,
dude, they beat SMU on the road.
They beat SMU on the road, and they also have a win against Kansas State. And I know Kansas State lost this past weekend.
But they annihilated them.
That's still. Using a basketball term, it's going to be a quad 1, quad 2 win over Kansas State, and that's what we're sort of going to here. So I think BYU will be fine. It'll be interesting to see where BYU is.
Well, the reason we say that is if Boise finishes in the rankings in front of the Big 12 champion, or for that matter, the ACC champion, they will get a first round bye. People, I don't know, have grasped this enough.
that they are not relegated like Notre Dame to be outside the top 4. Only Notre Dame is relegated to that. Boise State or any other Group 5 team is not relegated outside the byes. They can get there if they earn their spot there.
4 out of 5 brackets I've seen, people have BYU with one of the byes and a top 4 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, if they go undefeated, they're going to.
So here's the analogy I would look at. Like, you guys, we've all been fortunate enough to go to nice golf courses where you're a guest of somebody, right? And the member gets all the privileges. You only get the privileges because you're with the member, right? BYU is a member in this club, and Boise is not. If we want to be real about this.
That's right.
BYU is the club member. And the only reason Boise got the tee time is because they're playing with the member.
Yeah.
You give the
agree
member preference.
To a degree, because BYU is still a bigger brand and they are in a Power 4 conference right now.
There's your thing.
But Boise earned their stripes back in the 2000s with Chris Peterson.
They did.
And so I think they are viewed differently. Like if UNLV had beaten Boise and UNLV was where Boise is, I would view it differently. I think because Boise is a brand on their own, I think they will get a little bit more of a benefit.
No. This is it. It's
okay. So my golf club didn't work.
No, it does.
Okay.
UNLV is, if they had gotten there, it's a corporate membership. Somebody had gifted it to UNLV. They're in here because we needed to have them in there. For Boise State, their stripes are in there, but we occasionally have to remind them, hey, your dues.
That's right.
Hey,
a little behind.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your tee time.
You're in the rears.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Boise's good. I don't think they're that good.
BYU, the Big 12 and the ACC now is like, no problem, sir. Absolutely. Those tee times are blocked off for the SEC and the Big 10. Yeah, we can get you in at 11, but you can't have the 9 and the 9:30.
Yeah, any course you go to, the money game somehow gets the best of the tee time they want. They get that 9 a.m. tee time.
Yeah.
That's your money game right there.
Yeah, the SEC and the Big 10. All right, so that's 6 o'clock tonight. I wish in Vegas you could bet on this.
What can you not bet on?
That I'm projecting Reese Davis's opening line tonight.
Okay,
you ready?
Yep.
Because 6 o'clock Central our time, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Is it going to have a political flair to it?
The polls are closed on the East Coast, and we get the early results from the first ever 12-team college football playoff rankings. That's my Reese Davis opening line tonight.
Yeah.
The polls are closed on the East Coast because that's when they'll be closing on the East Coast, and we get our first results in the college football playoff rankings. So I think he'll go with polls closed on the East Coast.
He doesn't make an electoral college joke?
Maybe.
This college is the only college that matters. The rankings are next.
Maybe.
I love those things he does to open game day.
Oh,
he is so good at that.
Such a good writer.
Yeah.
Such a good writer.
And he does them live. Like, I used to think those were recorded. And he was like, why would you think they're recorded? He said that on the show. I was like, I don't know. I just thought you would record them.
You got to do it with the enthusiasm of the crowd.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk to Payton Thorne, scheduled to be with us on the other side. Johnston RV Center bringing us part of the show today as we get rolling out and about in America.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you will find Johnston RV Center. You can go see America this fall. Lance told you leaves are moving. Need a little bit cooler, but go see America this fall in an RV from Johnston RV Center. Right now, they have got great deals on travel trailers, as low as $145 a month. They've also got great savings on fifth wheels, $45,000 and more at Johnston RV Center. RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got a lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying previously owned. I-65 exit 304 and 334, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
And our friends at the Pants Store, your game day headquarters there, your home for Alabama Auburn polos, hats, and quarter zips. Locations all over Birmingham, including the original one in Leeds, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn. Name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter Buck, Antigua, Gentile, and of course, we've got the dresses and the fall wear for the ladies as we get ready for rivalry games coming up. That comes with free alterations and free gift wrapping. Western boots, New Balance, Hoka footwear, it's all there as well. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Pants Store. Pantstore.com, pantstore.com. Back in a moment.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations. Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over number 2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce number 1, Ryan Williams, late in the 4th quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce number 2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle 8 each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle 8 presented by mybookie.ag, code Next Round.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hey, if you get a chance, reach out to our friend Peter Burns today. His mom has passed away. He gives a nice tribute there, and it's just a day full of emotions around the country, and just remember the humanity in it all that's going on out there. And when you see a friend suffering like that, I know all of you love it when he comes on our show and what he's meant to us in this platform. So just if you're on social media, just hit Peter up today and send him a nice thought and tell him we're all thinking about him. Football happening this weekend. Alabama on the road at LSU, a slight favorite there in that contest. We'll do our upset alert coming up in about an hour. It's a not an off week. It's a week with no game for Auburn as they continue to work to improve down the stretch as we approach rivalry weekend.
Auburn quarterback Payton Thorne is with us now. This is the second time. That's got to, first of all, Payton, I hope you're doing well today. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Thank you. It's got to feel strange. This is the second time you guys have had a bye this year. Which is a new part of our college football calendar here. So that's, I guess, got to be good, but kind of weird too. You've never really dealt with this.
Yeah, it is weird. Obviously, you don't do it in high school, and then the first time in college we've done it. So it's kind of nice, honestly. Breaks up the season a little bit. I'm surprised that the NFL, with all the games they play, only has one bye week. But maybe that'll be something that gets changed down the road.
When you lose 5 of 6, when does anger creep into the equation? Like, I know as a leader, you've got to have composure, but that's a natural emotion when you guys are struggling like this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's already been present. It's not something that it's just showing up now. And so something you got to learn how to deal with, and obviously deal with it productively and not let it distract you from what needs to be done, and not let it break things apart within the locker room, within the team.
My senior year, my coach told me as we hit a down part of the season, we may start working some younger guys in because I'm sorry to you seniors, but we got to plan for the future. Any discussion about that at all, or is it still best player up here for Auburn? If you've won that position, we're just trying to win the next game. How's the discussion in the locker room about playing time down the stretch?
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything like that. Obviously, we have a fairly young team already, and we got a lot of young guys that have been playing all season. But, yeah, I think that the goal is still just to win the game at hand. And so, obviously, like you guys said, we got an open week here and then Louisiana Monroe next week. And our goal is, we need to win that one and then play Texas A&M at home after that, and need to win that one too before we go on the road to Bama. So, I haven't heard anything about that. That's obviously up to the coaches, but everybody needs to be ready to go and keep preparing like we have been the whole season.
Payton Thorne is with us, the Auburn quarterback, and you can get all the Auburn coverage at thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. Great original content there with Village Vice and the other shows with Kyle and Zach and Brad and the entire gang at thebarnauburn.com, on the Barn Auburn YouTube channel, and also go to the website. Join for $1 for the message board for the first month, thebarnauburn.com. Payton with us on the johnstonrvcenter.com hotline. Obviously, there were a lot of questions after the game about Jarquez Hunter and his lack of usage in the second half, and Coach Freeze said that he just looked gassed to him. And I'm just curious, is that common? Like, do you look at a player and you're like, he just doesn't look right for some reason? And, I mean, maybe not know why, but is that a common occurrence that one of the top-line starters just looks off and he doesn't maybe get the rotation he normally does?
I don't know if I'd say it's common. You see it sometimes with certain guys, and most times it's because of injury. You see a guy kind of hop on a little bit. You can tell he's not at full speed. Maybe tweak something in the game, or maybe it's something from earlier in the season. And I'm not sure what the case is with Jarquez. I think he's doing good. Obviously that's more of a topic for coach or for, I guess, the training staff or Jarquez himself probably. But I can't really speak on how somebody else is feeling. With my relationship with them, I feel good with where he's at and where I'm at with him.
Have you felt gassed?
I've felt gassed like for a play or two.
Okay. Yeah.
If I have a long run or something, or a long scramble where you get hit in a certain way. For me, you're breathing kind of heavy and you got to call the next play. Sometimes it's hard to actually get the words out, but it doesn't last for more than a play or two.
I was about to say, look, although this is going to be your last year, but I don't know if it is with COVID. Do you have another year?
No, this is it for me.
Okay.
It's been a long run.
Well, with that said, yeah, look, I know you want the best for this program, and guys like Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, when they're getting, sometimes one touch a game like they got this past weekend, how do you keep those guys engaged and let them know, hey, you guys are building a foundation here, future's bright?
Yeah, obviously you just try to be as positive as you can while also being, realistic. Guys at this age, they can hear when things aren't genuine or when, you're BSing them. So just being real with them and talking to them about, what's really happening and just not being negative. I'm a big believer in not being negative. A lot of times people talk about positivity and how the power of positivity. And while that's true, sometimes there's nothing positive to be said, but it's better to just not say anything negative and just be something I learned is just being neutral and calling it what it is. And so I think that's a big thing, just not being negative and encouraging these guys to to stay in it.
I know you guys are a close-knit fraternity when it comes to quarterbacks. I want your quarterback mind here to explain to our viewers how tough it is to play quarterback in the SEC, because I'm looking at Carson Beck. He's got 11 interceptions in his last 3 games. I've watched Jalen Milroe at Alabama in a couple of games not play to what he does in other games. You look at Nussmeier in the second half against A&M, all of a sudden the interceptions come that way. I mean, all of you guys are just uber talented guys, but it seems to be more of a roller coaster this year of trying to put 4 quarters together. How much tougher has the quarterback position gotten in the SEC to play that position?
Yeah, obviously, I haven't watched the film on all of those guys for those games. I've seen some of them, obviously, because we're preparing for opponents that they have played against. So I've seen that, but I haven't watched from start to finish, those games that you're talking about necessarily. So a lot of different things happen. And sometimes you can see as a quarterback, you watch the film, it's like, oh, wow, clearly that guy ran the wrong route, or, oh, wow, clearly he was throwing it into 3 guys, So there's different scenarios like that. But I think overall, you can see across pretty much all of college football, I feel like the scoring has been down. And so I think the defense, you go through these flows, I feel like in college football, at least in my life, I remember there was a time where it was like 50 points a game and the Big 12 was like normal.
Yeah.
And everybody was just running up and down the field. So I think the defenses have caught up a little bit to the offenses. This whole, you have different types of offenses, obviously. You got the RPO offense, you got the, run and gun, you got all these different, types of schemes. And I think that defensive coordinators have kind of caught up to those and have found different ways of stopping them. And so, you're playing good players every week. And with NIL, too, the new landscape of college football, I think it's as even as it's ever been across the playing field in terms of talent and stuff like that. So a lot of good players out there, a lot of good coaches on different teams. And so it's not easy. Like you said, there's a lot of different things that go into it. And also, I think something that kind of goes into it is the whole idea of basically free agency every year. You're seeing less teams that have been playing with each other for a long time. And I think that does have something to do with offensive football. It makes it harder, and you got a lot of turnover in terms of coaches as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it, I'm sure, if you actually, broke it down and did all the research on it. But like you said, it's not easy. Some weeks it looks easier than other weeks. But you got to really execute each and every play to go down the field and put the ball in the end zone.
You're wearing a shirt that pays homage to the 95-96 Bulls, widely regarded as the greatest professional basketball team of all time. Do you know – you weren't alive, I know that, but do you know a lot about that team? Have you watched them or studied them? I know you said your dad, told you about them.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, my dad grew up in Chicago when I was a huge Bulls fan, and I'm a huge Bulls fan too. Derrick Rose was my guy growing up. I wish I could have watched the Bulls back in the 90s, but like you said, I wasn't around, so – I watched The Last Dance, and I could watch that probably 15 times over, I think. Anything that comes out about Michael Jordan, I'm going to be glued to the TV. So, I love the Bulls, and it's pretty crazy to see, what they did back then.
Are you a Bears guy too?
I am. Yep. Bears, Bulls, Cubs.
So after that Hail Mary 2 weeks ago, were you watching that live?
I was at my place, and I had turned on, the last half of it, and I'm sitting there, and I texted my family, after they had scored, there was like 30 seconds left. I said Bears win !
Oh,
I think so. I sent the next text. I said I think so.
Oh no.
And then the next time I looked back, it was the Hail Mary, and my family they were at home. Their TV must be a little ahead. They said it. They're saying, "Oh my gosh, no way!" And I'm like, no way, something crazy just happened. And they catch that, and I was thinking to myself, man, this is the first time in a little bit that I've been really pumped to be a Bears fan. And then that happens. I'm like, gosh dang it, man. What the heck?
Have you ever been on one side or the other of the Hail Mary?
I don't think so. I've thrown like 3 or 4 interceptions on Hail Marys, so that sucks. But I remember one of them back in Michigan State, the guy almost took it back. He almost took it 100 yards, and I had to make the tackle. So he jumped up, and then all of a sudden there was nobody in front of him. So he took off. So I, got a tackle under my belt for that one.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I saw Peyton Manning one time. I was like, God, I hated those end of the game Hail Marys. I'd always pick up like my second interception of the game.
Yeah.
Like a completely meaningless play, all right. Well, Peyton, we appreciate the time. Peyton has a scheduled off week next week. He is not going to be with us next Tuesday, so we'll pick it back up leading into the A&M game. So, Peyton, thank you very much for the time. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bye week for Auburn. Peyton with us. And he joins us each week courtesy of thebarnauburn.com. That's where you go get all your Auburn information. The Barn Auburn YouTube page and thebarnauburn.com is the website. You go on that website. $1 is what you join for. thebarnauburn.com.
Yeah. Hey, and if you're looking for a great holiday gift, look, the trees are already up in some spots, including our corporate building up here. So you got to get in the mindset of gift buying. Here's an easy present for the girl in your life, whether it's the wife, girlfriend. You could get it for mom. This holiday season, treat that special someone to the gift of luxury from Birmingham's Best Day Spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's Best Day Spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop in to the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stuart and the great staff the Next Round sent you.
And our UCA question of the day, I'll ask you the question and then tell you about UCA to give you a little time to answer. When is the right time to put up your Christmas decorations? Okay, so think about, give me your answer. When is the right time to put up your Christmas decorations? UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UCA, 35 urologists, 16 locations treating all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, and everything that you need there. And stay on top of your health, guys, with an appointment. Get more details, 205-930-0920, 930-0920. So important for early detection, guys. 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, it all changes so quickly. Find the location near you and make that appointment. UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. The correct time to put up your Christmas decorations for you. I guess we have individual choices in our country, but what is correct?
I think correct is the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday? Can you go that early?
You can go Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever that weekend is. It still gives you one full month for Christmas.
Now, that's it for me, too. You got to do Thanksgiving first, and then you throw them up on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
But I'm more of a Thanksgiving guy. Like, I like Thanksgiving as much or better because there's so much hype with Christmas. Christmas is great. Everybody's in a great mood, but there's so much that goes into Christmas. Standalone day, best meal of the year, football. I just think Thanksgiving's perfect, and it's not given its due enough.
Yeah. I agree with Lance a little bit later, though. I have been informed lights will go up outside of our house before Thanksgiving, so I've already been informed of that.
Yeah. From the company that's doing that?
From my wife.
Okay.
Yes, and the guy she hired to do it. So that's going to be before Thanksgiving. So I guess I can't say I generally agree with Lance, but I'm not having to do it.
Yeah.
And generally, I don't.
For the record, you're agreeing with Lance and me. I also agree with Lance.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm agreeing with Lance and Jim.
Yeah.
And anyone else that says after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Generally, I've never had to put up our Christmas decorations or take them down, and here's why. They generally go up on the weekend I'm talking about here, and I'm normally at the Iron Bowl.
That's right. Iron Bowl Saturday. I don't put mine up either.
Yep. And they've generally come down after Christmas when we're going to a college football playoff destination.
That's right. Because the proper time to take them down is before New Year's Day.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't care as long as I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. And I have not had to deal with it for what we like to call the Saban era.
That's right.
That is coming from having to deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to look moving forward. I'm not real sure, so we'll see. I may actually have to help take down decorations this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the COVID year. It was fine. We put it up a little early before Thanksgiving COVID year.
Oh, I think everybody did.
Yeah, and I think that has started a trend where we skip right through Thanksgiving. But I'm like you. I love Thanksgiving, and we do so much Halloween now. Seems like we do a month of Halloween, and then we do 2 months of Christmas, and we do a day of Thanksgiving, and that's a shame. That's a shame.
Well, and I think Thanksgiving's chopped for us because we're always working on Black Friday.
That is true.
And I think it would be a lot different if we had the full, 5-day weekend that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would
God, if we
probably
only knew
change
the bosses.
things.
If we only knew the bosses.
If only they'd move that pesky Iron Bowl.
Alabama loses another couple of games. There ain't no reason for us to be here on Friday.
Maybe we take the day for a change.
Could I interest you in a Saturday morning?
Yeah, let's
show?
go on and agree. If Alabama loses to LSU and somehow Oklahoma beats them,
we don't do Black Friday.
We just do a best of Friday.
I mean, I think we can make the case. I'd love to know what the audience thinks over in the mybookie.ag chat room. But if we gave you 3 good hours on Saturday morning, right opposite of game day, 8 to 11.
Well, that's a lot now. Hang on, Jim. 3 hours on a Saturday morning?
If we're taking all of Friday off, we just do our show on Saturday, just our full show Saturday morning. We're already doing an hour.
No, we've already said we're doing the best of show that me and Scott are going to put together.
That's true. No.
Yeah,
we don't do that anymore.
In between the 62 other things you're doing back there.
Yeah. No. I'm with Lance. We could work on this. We could workshop this. Now,
I mean, when's the last time this game hasn't had meaning? It's been a long time. But if Alabama loses
to at
2
least
games,
one team,
it's got no meaning.
But there's a lot of meaningful games going on in college football. I'd like to do the 3 hours on Saturday morning, and for our great sponsors too, to get those guys.
No,
in.
we'll discuss this.
Yeah,
we've got to see how all this plays out first.
I think Bama wins out. So
I tend to agree with Lance. I think this is a moot discussion.
Yeah, I think it'll be meaningful.
Okay, you're flipping the script, so I need to throw a couple. I'm just throw a couple sponsors in here. Then if we're doing that, our friends at Milo's, as we flip the script to talk Alabama and LSU ahead of the big game coming up this
if you're
weekend.
already thinking about lunch, which if you're at a job you don't like, you probably are. A great lunch would be Milo's. Head into one of those convenient locations. What is better than a Milo's burger? How about 24 free Milo's burgers? Milo's giving away a catered meal for up to 24 guests. That's right, 24 of your closest friends, coworkers, or family could be chowing down on Milo's favorites. So the best part, it's absolutely free. For your chance to win, head to miloshamburgers.com/catering-contest. Enter today. That is miloshamburgers.com/catering-contest. So whether you're feeding a few or a whole crew, Milo's has got you covered. Don't wait. Enter now. Maybe they'll be serving you and 23 of your lucky friends soon. Stay saucy.
A-plus Tile Home Remodeling. One reason we like these holidays is we enjoy having people over our houses. Brad Bell has made our house look different there. When it came time to redo the master bath, that was step one. My wife, Jennifer, scoured the internet looking for the best person for the job. She talked to certain contractors. She talked to people that had used certain contractors. She read reviews. She came away and said, I think Brad Bell's the best choice. So we hired Brad, and boy, we're glad we did. His crews were on time, courteous, clean, worked hard. At the end of each day, they brought us in and said, okay, here's what we've accomplished today. Does it meet your standards? I mean, that's who you're dealing with there. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, 205-422-1758. He has since done Lance's master bath and kitchen. He has since laid hardwood at my house. So we've used them a lot. They specialize in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. They'll do anything, but that is their specialty. Call Brad Bell today. 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758 for Brad Bell, A-plus Tile Home Remodeling.
All right, so I'm glad I didn't jump out yesterday because the expression and the lack of conversation, you jumped in on LSU, Alabama. You almost left me hanging like you had some thoughts, and we'd get to it later in the week. I just your body language, I thought you were going to go LSU this week, but you're saying you're sort of Alabama.
I mean, I'm not completely set. I just think Alabama's the better team, but who's going to play better at quarterback? Alabama's just night and day difference when Jalen Milroe's got his A game going, and we haven't seen it in a while.
And when you say A game, that includes him running the football.
Oh, that's yeah. Without him running the football, he doesn't have an A game.
And that was not existent at Tennessee for the most part.
Well, I asked Clad about this. What do you guys think, I mean, do you look at the second half of the LSU-Texas A&M game and say, boy, that bodes well for Alabama? If Jalen Hurts will run the football, they really, really struggle with that. Like, do y'all think that's fixable in a bye week? How bad they were against the run? I mean, that's the question. Was it just a preparation issue? Like, did Marcel Reed come in and they're like, oh, no. Now, what are we going to do? And we don't adjust, and we'll just, or was it just that they're bad against a running quarterback?
I think they might just be bad against a running quarterback. I find it hard to believe that Blake Baker and Brian Kelly were like, oh, my God, what do we do about this guy? We've never seen this guy on film.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it.
It did look like it.
But, yeah, I just think against running quarterbacks, they might have an issue.
Do you guys, I mean, are you all paying close attention to this tropical storm? How does that affect you?
Everybody was saying in the chat room, as you were saying that yesterday, that the forecast called for 40 to 50% chance of rain during the game time in Baton Rouge. I don't know if they were getting updated information. When's the last time you checked on that forecast?
Yesterday.
And where
the tropical storm's near landfall on Saturday. I think it said 6 a.m.
6 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah. But now there's
in Louisiana or down in Galveston.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Man, there is nothing worse than a deluge in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I just wonder how many Alabama fans are staying in New Orleans and making the trip over.
Well, I think it's usually about, it's north of 33%, don't you?
Oh, I think it's more than that. I think it's probably at least 50.
Yeah, I always think it's at least 33, north of 33% that don't even bother with hotel rooms in Baton Rouge, that they go straight to
I've never stayed in Baton Rouge, and I've gone to that game, I don't know, 8-10 times, and I've always stayed in New Orleans.
That's probably your most road trip, right?
It doesn't even call for rain in New Orleans.
Because they've changed the forecast now. Instead of Saturday, apparently it has slowed. Yeah. It will become a hurricane, but it may lose hurricane status. According to this now, it goes back to a tropical storm after it scrapes over Cuba there. So I guess Cuba breaks it up a little bit maybe. So that's actually good news. So Sunday, 6 a.m., it is still very close to landfall at that point. So they're probably going to be a day ahead of this, so that does help. I'm glad I brought that up because now I've gone back and looked, and it's really nothing to worry about, it doesn't appear.
Tyler jumps in with the Grace Tree Service Dead Wood cleanup right here for Brownie. You want to read it, Brownie?
Jalen Milroy plays quarterback at Alabama now, not Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tyler. Could have probably said that in my headset, but that's okay. You can embarrass me in front of the entire audience.
Yeah.
Tyler,
I do it too.
Calling it out too.
Who?
The chat was calling it out too.
The chat gets on me about everything.
Brooks heard it, and so did Scott in the back.
Yeah. So we've all made that mistake.
That's what I never notice when you say it.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've tweeted it.
Yeah.
Jim has said it. I have said it. We've all made the mistake.
I got prayed for
I've said it?
For tweeting.
Yeah, you were sinful in yours. You're sinful.
The cool thing is, when you get to be my age, you don't even remember what you say.
You forget your mistakes.
Did I say it? I don't know.
We stayed
What show am I even doing?
We stayed in Baton Rouge. Me and Dunaway stayed in Baton Rouge 2012.
That was the
rickshaw game.
The rickshaw ride game?
Yeah, the rickshaw game. But Tyler has probably never heard that story. I'll tell the brief version of it. Dunaway and I got left at the stadium by accident. Like, two people thought they were taking us back to their hotel, and both of them hit the interstate. And at a SEC stadium on a Saturday, getting a cell phone call out can be tricky.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the cell phone call out, right, Tyler? So we decide it's about a mile to a hotel. Let's walk. Bad choice. All right, late at night. So
it's further than a mile.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
You couldn't get cell phones to work. That was the problem. So you couldn't check the distance on them. We just knew it was down this road, right? So we get to this restaurant area, and there's this girl that's got one of those bicycle rickshaws. And I was like, Dunaway, what would you pay for her to take us to the hotel?
Yeah. All my money in my wallet.
Dunaway's like, I am tired of walking around. Just go negotiate it. I'll pay half.
My weight fluctuates. I think
this is heavy, Jim?
I think I was 216, Jim, at this time. About 22 pounds.
Was that biker struggling?
Hey,
it was Hefty Brown, too.
I don't know about that, Jim. 2012, No, I don't think that's accurate.
I think it was Hefty Brown,
No. We'll go back and look. Yeah. So I go over to the girl, Tyler. I go over to the girl, and I say, we're staying. It was a casino that's just right down the road. And she goes, I'll take you there for $60. I said, deal. So I got 30 from Jim. I gave her 30. We gave her $60, and she's pedaling. Well, she gets us out on the main road, and all these pissed off. Now LSU loses at the last possible moment to Alabama, so the fan base is pissed off. All these pissed off RVs are pulling right up behind us, laying on the horn. She's using language I hadn't even heard Lance use and throwing birds at them, like yelling at them to go around.
And y'all are between both.
And we're between both. I'm like, Dunaway, you could feel the heat coming off the engine.
Yeah. RV. I mean, Brown and I are having to sit like this. It's so small back there.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a rickshaw.
I remember now. I wasn't hefty, Jim. Then this was 177, Jim.
Yeah, I think you took a shot at me too. I don't think I was hefty either.
But one of us was heavy because it was tight.
305 Brown though, right?
Yeah, really?
I do think it was tight end Brown.
Yeah. So she finally gets us to the hotel after all of that, right after yelling at all these people and all these vulgarities. And Jim's like, hey, you could just let us out right here. And I'm like, Dunaway, it's 2 a.m. Who's going to be at this hotel to see us come up with the rickshaw? So she pulls us around. The Alabama, Jefferson, and Shelby County alumni group is staying at this hotel, and they're having a party in the parking lot to celebrate the Alabama win. So she pulls around with the 2 of us in a rickshaw, and somebody goes, hey, it's Dunaway and Brown. And everybody looks, and here are me and my date getting out of a rickshaw.
And what time was this?
Oh, it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
It was a night game.
Yeah, I had to do late local TV for an hour.
Yeah, I'd done a hit with him on 42. I mean, it was late. I saw somebody the other day that introduced themselves and says, I think last time I saw you was at the hotel in Baton Rouge. I said, you weren't out in the parking lot, were you? He goes, oh, yeah, I remember that well.
Same guy said something to me. Where were we?
Was it both?
It was a basketball game.
Oh, that's right. It was the basketball game in Huntsville. He said the last time he saw us was getting out of a rickshaw.
Last time I saw you, you were getting out of a rickshaw.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I was like, oh, which city? Because we do that all the time. The top of the hour now. When we come back, we'll get to more college football and our upset alert coming up at 10:30. Where the Brown Bandit needs a win, man.
Boy, he has struggled.
Needs a win.
Dan Lanning did me dirty.
Did Lance dirty.
New York Butcher Shop never does you dirty. Getting ready for week 11 of college football. Tell us, LT.
Yeah, look, and not only that, we've got Thanksgiving that we just talked about right around the corner. They're turkeys at the New York Butcher Shop, fresh, all-natural, hormone-free from Joyce Farms, one of the best poultry producers in all of America. Turkeys are fresh, but they can smoke or brine them for you. Also carry smoked ham, certified Angus prime beef, tenderloins, rib roast, all of their side dishes prepared in-house. Serve 8 to 10. However, they will make smaller sides that feed 4 to 6. Don't forget, they've got desserts, pies, cakes, banana breads, great wine selection as well to pair with your turkey. They're taking reservations now. Highly recommended. They've sold out of these turkeys every single year. Stop into one of the 2 locations, Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Go see Jim and the great staff. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well done service.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and
always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Happy football season. At The Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, so the LSU game's in November, right?
What are you talking about?
Back in 2012 was a November game.
Oh, yeah, it's been in November quite a while.
And that was the
as
year.
long as I can remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That was the year we got on the bus and bust down to the national championship game, correct?
That is accurate. Alan Jackson's tour bus, right? Was it Alan Jackson? Yeah, it was Alan
Taylor
Jackson.
Swift's.
No.
Taylor Swift. No, it was Alan Jackson's.
Alan Jackson tour bus.
Yeah, down to the
Yeah,
Orange.
that was a fun trip on the way down.
Yeah,
way
I
back
enjoyed
sucked.
it. I enjoyed it on the way down. Coming back, not fun. That was a night there.
I did not ride down with you guys. I flew for some reason.
Because you were doing TV. You had to get down earlier for TV.
I rode back with you because
You
of
did.
FOMO. had an airline ticket. Decided I wanted to ride back with you guys.
You're one of a kind, Dunaway.
You are. Yeah, but I know, because Lance is right. The trip down was so much fun. That's all you heard down there. God, that was a blast.
Well, my ex was on the bus with us. The Haneys were on the bus.
That's right.
We had DirecTV. Our buddy John Walker was on the bus.
Yep.
So we got to gamble. We played cards. We watched Sling Blade.
Lance bought a Sling Blade DVD at a truck stop.
Yeah, nobody. The majority of people hadn't seen it. I was like, this is like. It's disturbing that we're going to laugh at this, but you guys are going to laugh your asses off.
We watched Sling Blade all the way down. It was fun.
Meanwhile, ride back, miserable.
Yeah, terrible.
No fun at all.
Everybody was exhausted.
Haney's weren't on the bus.
Nope.
I don't think John Walker was on the bus.
No, I think it was just me, you, Lance, and...
Yep.
I think Del Greco was.
Yeah, Del Greco rode
of
back
course
with
he
us.
was, because somebody had to pass gas.
Wow. Drive by on out.
He just enjoyed a lot of good food. Anyway, so I found I didn't have pictures from Baton Rouge weekend, but I do have pictures.
Eats a lot of good food.
Yeah. Here's the way LT and I looked 2012 poolside.
You want the whole story here?
Yeah.
God, look how skinny you were.
You got some hair there.
I do. I had to worry about the wind there. So that's poolside.
I never made it poolside on that trip, and I'll tell you the story for the first time
You know
ever.
who was in the pool when we took that picture?
Who?
Oh my God! What was the dude that got suspended for saying he wanted to hit Jason Kidd's wife with a Bob Ryan?
Bob Ryan.
Yeah, Bob Ryan was in a floaty.
Oh, the media guy, Bob Ryan?
Yeah. Now this is Brown on the bus. This is you from the bus.
Okay.
Okay. Next picture.
Wow, you found these quick. I just went to the bathroom.
This must be Big Brown. If he's
I gotta be super chunky.
I'm just saying. Right. Do we have the other one?
Oh, yeah. Scott's doing me a solid.
Yeah. So I mean,
I look chunky there?
Oh, Brown, you are in so much better shape now.
Do you not think so? I mean, you guys see the picture? Brown, I mean, you keep yourself in great shape now.
Great shape.
Yeah.
Now.
And I think he's being. Does it sound like he's going a little over the top with you?
A little, yeah. No, I do.
Mean, look at your face.
No, well, I don't have a beard back then. Yeah,
I do. You think the beard makes you look skinny?
I do. No, God, I look so much younger then.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think the more appropriate question you should be asking.
That's why I was wearing that shirt.
No,
it was 2012. Jim.
Why am I taking a solo picture of you on the bus?
That is a good question. That's what were we doing?
Y'all's relationship was a little more complicated back then.
Yeah, it's
well,
weird.
I thought then maybe you'd want to save it with the skyline behind you.
Yeah, that's the skyline of Miami, and you knew I was a Dolphins fan, and you're like, oh, Brown's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why you took that photo.
There you go.
Somebody asked, is that a phone charger or a chain on the wallet? That was a phone charger. I've never worn a chain on a wallet.
We worked with a guy that did.
I have worked with a guy that did every day. Yeah, okay. Do you want the back?
Wants to know when your album's coming out.
It does.
It looks like an album artwork.
It was very country music. Bad country music. Do you want to know why I never came to the pool on that trip?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So
not really, but now I do.
I mean 12 years later, sure.
I've never told the story. So we were in a different. It was not the house we live in now, but it was the house before, right? And I had, coming full circle here, I had gone up in the attic to get down Christmas decorations. So Jennifer, or I was putting up Christmas decorations. That trip was after Christmas.
That's right.
And we were going out of town. We went out of town. Now that I think about it, between Christmas and that trip, and I stepped through the ceiling, came all the way through the ceiling, and hit one of the trusses on my side on the way down, and had a bruise from my armpit to my hip.
Wow.
And I knew y'all would never hear the end of it. If
what do you think we were going to blame Jennifer for putting a boot in your
No,
rib?
I was just like, the minute I take my shirt off, y'all are going to be, what did you do? And I'm going to have to tell the story about I fell through the ceiling.
So you played hurt the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never went to the pool because I'd have to take my shirt off at the pool. And y'all are like, Brown, this pool's awesome down here.
Another thing I remember about that Saturday morning was because this programming note, we typically have Clay at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. He's got a million obligations with Fox today with the election. But it was his first time he had ever done a solo show for NBC Sports that Saturday. And I remember how nervous he was.
Clay was nervous about that?
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine, though? Because, his first radio really was with us. Clay was a writer. And so the first time they just threw him on national radio to do a 3-hour show solo, he was nervous.
Yeah, so I had the bruise from armpit to hip.
So can we get Brown's picture back
that's
up
why
again?
that's why I never came to the pool. It had nothing to do with you guys or anything.
I think your play here then would be that it's swelling from your injury. You played hurt, and you never told anybody for 12 years that you were in pain the entire trip.
See how I've got that left arm propped way up? Yeah. That was where the bruise was. I was probably like, I can't put my arm down. Yeah. It hurts too bad.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you playing hurt through a championship season for the Tide there back in 2012.
It came all the way through the ceiling. That is a mess to clean up, by the way.
Oh, I can only imagine. All right, now that we've cleaned that up, this hour being brought to you in part by our friends at mybookie.ag. Brownie, give us, if you will, a little updated betting odds for some of the games this weekend, our upset alert in the next segment.
Can you give us the election odds
right now at mybookie.ag to win the presidency? President Trump is minus 175. Vice President Harris is plus 150.
By the way, I've seen that as low as Trump minus 140. This is over the last month.
Yeah.
To Trump as high as minus 225. So it's been all over the place.
Interestingly enough, to win the popular vote, Vice President Harris is minus 360. President Trump is plus 275. So you can play both those and maybe win them both in the way this all works. All right, to college football, though. That's what you really wanted, wasn't it, Jim, was the college football numbers. Alabama and LSU, the Crimson Tide, what? The Crimson,
sure, yes, that's what I wanted.
Okay. The Crimson Tide holding as a 3-point favorite at LSU. Alabama, a 3-point favorite at LSU. The total in this game is 58.5. That's a little bit high, isn't it? 58.5 is a bit of a high college total.
Yeah, I mean, for this year it is.
For this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid total, yeah.
By the way, Indiana and Michigan was the point spread that caught a lot of people's attention. 14 is where Indiana still is in Bloomington for that 2:30 CBS Saturday kick. Those games.
So Indiana, 14-point favorite against Michigan.
Yeah. I wonder how many times Indiana basketball has been a 14-point favorite over Michigan. I bet
Can you imagine?
Do you think that's happened even? I mean, 14's a lot in college basketball conference
probably.
game.
But what you're about to say is.
No, I'm about to say if we went back to the summer and you got these original lines, I would think that Michigan probably is a 14-point favorite.
Yeah, Michigan's a 14. It's 28-point
Bloomington.
swing. Yeah. By the way, Georgia 2.5-point favorite over Ole Miss as well in Oxford. Fascinating game.
Only what?
2.5. Total of 55. Biggest game in Ole Miss history, in my opinion. Now, some people told me some games I missed yesterday.
Yeah.
But I still stand by what I'm saying. Biggest game in Ole Miss history.
Just because it was so, I don't know, vocalized how amazing it was that Ole Miss could not find Atlanta. And they had that opportunity
against LSU.
But I don't disagree. If they win this game, I think it is the biggest game in Ole Miss history because then they should be getting a college football playoff.
All those games at mybookie.ag, code next round, mybookie.ag, code next round. When you go to mybookie.ag, you log on, you make your initial deposit. They double that deposit when you use code NEXTROUND. Double your initial deposit with code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
So earlier, Brown said Boise State could not be a country club member. They were just a guest at the country club.
They're out.
Speaking of country club memberships, you can be a member at the Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that fit everyone, from the social to the golf. Childcare, also a big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course, dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working for the club while they watch your kid? If you relocated or retired, Inverness, great place to network, to take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron today, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, ICCalabama.com.
Okay, some fast college football notes here before we get to our four downs, which is coming up in this segment. By the way, I didn't give enough respect to this. What is the college football game that half of our older audience says they have been at? Where was that? Do y'all remember that game?
Old audience would be 1969 Alabama Ole Miss.
Yeah, the first college football game I ever went to, I'm told. The only thing I remember about that night, if it is true, was a chicken leg, 2 chicken legs and mashed potatoes from KFC on Green Springs or Highway 31, whatever that KFC used to be right there near our old station.
Now, was that the second half of a doubleheader? Because they used to do that, right? Auburn would play an early game and Alabama would play a late game at Legion Field.
I don't know if it was that day, but they did used to do that.
Yeah.
Like Auburn would play at 11 and Alabama would play a night game there.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's crazy to consider, isn't it, that they used to do that?
I do know. I think this was the first primetime night college,
I believe you're correct.
Regular season football game,
or at least the first one in Alabama.
The Tide and Tiger was cooking on those days.
The Tide and Tiger was spilled out in the parking lot.
Yeah, with no injuries or anything like that. When I gave Jackson Dart stats yesterday, I did not know that he broke Archie Manning's total yards record from that game. Archie Manning in that game in 1969, 540 total yards. To this day, stood as an Ole Miss record.
That's not
total
surprising.
yards. And then Jackson Dart broke it this past weekend with 515 passing, 47 rushing yards, 542. So that 1969 game wiped off the Ole Miss record books. I think Scott Hunter's interceptions in that game probably still stand.
I lean Ole Miss in this game. I think Georgia's the better team, but just with Beck, with the security issues right now, and just turning the football over at an alarming rate. But I will say this, much like when Georgia was going into Austin to play Texas, everybody was like, Texas, most complete team. Georgia doesn't have a shot. It's a good spot for Georgia based on the fact that Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann are like, look at what this Ole Miss offense just did. This is going to be the biggest challenge we've had the entire season. Like, this Ole Miss offense is not going to sneak up on this Georgia defense.
Here's the interesting thing. Who's got the better receivers? I think it's Ole Miss easy.
Well, I mean, if Trey Harris is playing, it really is.
If Trey Harris is playing.
Don't you feel like they rested Trey last week to get him ready for this week?
And did not need him, by the way. Yep. Who's got the better defense?
Georgia.
But I don't know. I mean, it's not like a slam dunk, Lance. I mean, I think only marginally better.
Okay, well, just like I saw Georgia completely dominate Second half against Alabama, I know it was a different called game. First half against Texas on the road, both of those games on the road. You just give me an offense that Ole Miss has really faced that,
they have not
strikes
faced
fear into.
They haven't faced fear.
I mean, it was this past weekend, and that game got away. I mean, Sam Pittman was pulling starters in the third quarter.
So I was following up. Kirby's got a lot of zippers in this upcoming video. I just looked over there. It's like one of those, what do they call those nesting dolls where you open it and there's a smaller one. You open it, there's a smaller
he's layered up.
Yeah, Kirby's got a button shirt on, a quarter zip, and then basically a hoodie.
I had this random thought today. If you've got dark hair and you're in your 50s and you don't have any gray, you dye your hair. 100%.
I agree completely, yeah.
But like Kirby, from when he took the job in 16 to where he is now,
he looks old, doesn't he?
Well, it's like
being president.
Literally 50 shades of gray, right?
No, it is. Like you look at any sitting president from the day they entered office, especially if they do 2 terms. Like go look at President Obama.
Obama's probably the worst example.
He grayed quick. You look at George W. Bush before him, a couple presidents before him, grayed really, really quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was getting to this question.
By the way, presidential question coming up in 4 downs.
I can't wait. If you had the best roster in this game, which you consider Georgia or Ole Miss, I don't know which one you think's the best roster.
I think the recruiting services would say Georgia.
I would agree. Which quarterback would you pick?
Right now, I would take Jackson Dart,
too.
But that's right now.
I know.
Head coach is not even close.
No, head coach is not close. But would you, Dunaway, take Jackson Dart over Carson Beck right now?
Well, let's ask Kirby Smart what's wrong with Carson Beck right now, because it is there's a glaring problem, and Kirby keeps telling him what the glaring problem is. It's this right here.
Just decision making. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. I think I was more pleased after watching the tape than anything because – I mean, I think out of 73 snaps, he had 68 winning decisions, really good decisions. I mean, 68 for 73, pretty good in any sport I'm in that you're in. I think the concern is the mistakes can't be catastrophic. You know, like you got to make good decisions, and you know the 2 plays that he ends up turning the ball over on, they weren't great looks defensively against that call. Like we were expecting something else. So when that happens, you got to play for the next down, right? It's the most common thing in football. You got to be willing to concede a down and move on, especially when it's first down. And both those were, and 2 of those were those situations. But I still think that 68 out of 73 decision-making processes, he did the right thing and made some really, really elite plays and throws within the game. So it's cutting down on the catastrophic things.
Yeah, he did. Down the stretch, he made some big throws to avoid that being a scarier game for him in the rivalry game. He's talking about where it's a bad call and the perfect defense, and instead of him throwing it away, he threw into triple coverage twice in that game.
On first down, I didn't remember that, but now that Kirby brings it up, he's right. If you get a bad look on first down, burn it and play 2 downs.
It's scary. like, what's wrong with your quarterback? Decision-making.
Yeah, I mean, you normally count on that being good.
Where are you going? We're going to Oxford this weekend. I'm worried about his decision-making.
But I would tell you that in a big game like this, I trust Carson Beck more than I do Jackson Dart. I trust the Georgia coaches more than I do the Ole Miss coaches. I don't find Oxford, Mississippi as intimidating as I do Knoxville, Tennessee, or Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Auburn, Alabama. It'll be chaotic as every SEC road venue is.
I'll say this though, I
like Georgia in the game.
Like Jackson Dart hasn't won a big game. Lane Kiffin hasn't won a big game. Carson Beck, I guess you could say, won a big game with Texas this year. But Carson Beck, on that stage against Alabama last year in the SEC championship.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right.
Well, I mean, you want to look at Jackson Dart's big games real quick? I'll just give you his ranked opponents. And this goes back. Now, he's played a lot of quarterback at Ole Miss. Don't forget, this goes back to 2022.
Yeah, you could take him back. He played some ranked games for USC, too.
In the 1 year he played for USC, he played Brigham Young. That's the only ranked game he played. He was pretty good in that game, though. But at Ole Miss, at LSU, Dunaway, 19 of 34, 283, no touchdowns and a pick. Not awful. Against Alabama that year, 18 of 31, 1 touchdown, no pick. Again, not awful. Against State, 30 of 38, 252 touchdowns, no picks. That's a passing grade in 2022. In 2023, at Alabama, they were number 25, 20 of 35, 244, no touchdowns and a pick. Number 12, LSU, 26 of 39, 389, 4 touchdowns, no picks. That is fantastic. At home, by the way. Against number 4, Georgia, on the road, 10 of 17, 112, no touchdowns and a pick. And then against number 13, Penn State in the bowl game, 25 of 40, 379, 3 touchdowns, no picks. This year he's only played one ranked team. It was LSU, 24 of 42, 284, a touchdown and a pick.
Yeah, LSU wasn't his fault.
No, he doesn't turn it over a ton in those games. I'll say that. I didn't say a whole lot. I mean, no game was more than one interception.
So you choose Dart over Beck?
I would right now.
Yeah. All right.
Now that's where Beck comes out and it looks like a first-round pick.
Yeah.
This game, it is more fascinating that it's in Oxford. If this game was in Athens.
I wouldn't even hardly pay attention. Yeah. What?
I would hardly pay attention.
Well, no, I would because it's 2:30 CBS or 2:30 ABC game. But in Oxford, I mean, that's where Beck has made his turnovers, Jim. He's got 9 interceptions away from Athens. 3 in the last 3 games he's played away from Athens. And that's what scares me if I'm Kirby Smart or a Georgia fan. It's not just that he's turning the ball over. It's doing it when he's not playing it at home. Why do you keep smiling at me?
I love the roller coaster that you're on.
What roller coaster am I on?
Yeah, I wouldn't even watch it. But meanwhile, I would be dying on Saturday. Oh, I can't wait for the Georgia Ole Miss game. Roller coaster. 4 Downs every day brought to you by our friends at Slice Pizza LT.
5 locations. Stop in. Get you a slice and a salad a day. Pick up a couple of pizzas on the way home. Be the hero for the wife and kids. For more information, slicebirmingham.com or get into one of those 5 locations. Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Newest location in Edgewood. Get in and see the Bajai brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. It is Slice.
First down.
Brian Adams, 65 years old today. Better career, Brian Adams or Brian Cranston?
Oh, I'd go Brian Cranston. Brian Adams he had cuts like a knife, but he's most known for Summer of '69.
Yeah, he had the Peter Pan. No, not Peter Pan.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
I think that's probably his biggest hit of all time.
Yeah, it's a ballad, right?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about as far as sales.
What was the name
Everything
of that song?
I do for you or something.
Yeah.
I love Brian Cranston, maybe the greatest singular character in television history of Walt White. But Cranston, as good of an actor as he is, I don't want to say he's typecast, but he doesn't get, and people will talk about Your Honor, and I thought it was good for a couple of episodes and it lost a lot of steam. Like, he hasn't had major roles.
Yeah. But I think the one big hit is iconic enough to put him ahead of Brian Adams, whose one big hits are Summer of '69, The Love Song, Cuts Like a Knife. That's not enough for me. I'd go Cranston.
Plus, you've got Malcolm in the Middle and all his guest spots on Seinfeld for Brian Cranston.
Yeah. Malcolm in the Middle was a big-time show back in the day on Fox. That was one of Fox's big hits.
Kids running the truck series now.
Yes,
was that a Sunday night show? Because
I thought it was Thursday. I didn't watch a ton of it.
I think that might have been a Thursday night show.
It didn't get the. I thought it was a Sunday night after the Simpsons and Malcolm in the Middle.
Maybe
tonight.
It was. Could be. I didn't watch it.
I thought we got in the NFL late game promo. Don't forget tonight, prime time on Fox.
That's when Pat Summerall was selling you Malcolm in the Middle.
And Malcolm in the Middle. I'll tell you who's in the middle right now. Boom! That guy right there.
Such a good John Madden, Jim. Way to go.
Let's do.
That's second down. We're going to do second down.
Second down.
Sam Rockwell, 56 years old. Do I have to ask you guys if you know who Sam Rockwell is?
No, he's an artist.
An artist?
Yeah.
What's he paint?
Sam Rockwell.
Great Alabama Moments.
Photographer? Or an artist?
What are you got a gun there? What are you doing?
No, you're shooting.
It's a big camera. I've never seen anybody shoot a camera like that. You're thinking of Norman Rockwell.
I am thinking of Norman Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell. I'm trying to think of a role Dunaway has seen him in. Did you ever see?
Fantastic actor, but I've got 2 roles I was going to bring up.
Okay.
Was he the brother in what's the movie Star is Born? The new one?
No, that's Sam Elliott.
Okay, at least I got the first name right.
Missed him generationally by about 30 years, but
yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. Better Sam Rockwell role, 3 Billboards or The Green Mile?
3 Billboards, and that's the one I thought you might have seen him in. He's phenomenal in 3 Billboards.
But
is he the sheriff in 3 Billboards?
Oh, very good. He's
the deputy.
Okay, but you're close enough that I'm going to give you credit.
He's the one that tosses dude out the window.
Yeah. No, I like that movie. I like that role.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
But he's great in The Green Mile. He's despicable in both.
Is he the one that had trouble peeing?
He's the pit. No, that was Tom Hanks. Jesus.
Green
Mile, he was the guy, the despicable one that was on death row. That he didn't he stomp Mr. Bojangles?
Yes.
No, the guard did.
The guard did.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he had the bad teeth. He was in the cell they would hose him off.
I hadn't seen Green Mile in a minute.
And he got unloaded.
Yeah.
He played George Bush in the movie Vice. Did you ever see that? With
I heard he was a
Christian
really
Bale
good George
as Dick
Bush. I haven't
Cheney?
seen it.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I loved the Billboards. That's
a great movie.
It is
man.
a great movie. Like so many good roles in that movie. Frances McDormand is terrific. Sam Rockwell is really good. You guys know I haven't been a huge Woody Harrelson fan, but I thought he was good in that role.
Oh, he's really good.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those movies, much like Sling Blade, you feel guilty at some of the things you laugh at.
Yeah, I agree completely. It is a bit of a dark comedy, yeah.
Third down.
Jason Kelce, 37 years old today. Well, he can spike a cell phone, can he?
I mean, how did that thing survive?
I really don't think it did.
He picked it up and was going to take it with him.
Look, I would say you got to contain yourself, but sometimes when kids get up in your face and they do that, you need to be put in their place.
He said a derogatory thing about his brother.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, I have no problem with what he did.
No, me either. I
Yeah.
don't think he should have apologized.
You know what
I mean, we're in a time in our country now that
you apologize for everything.
No, that you think that because you're shooting a video and you think you can poke somebody and make them go crazy on video so you can post it. You need more ass kickings out there.
Yeah, look,
It's like the guy who's harassing Mike Tyson on the plane.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's like, why are you gonna just go in and antagonize Mike
Yeah.
Tyson?
But Kelce apologizing, I'm sure his representation was like, look, you work for ESPN now, you're going to have to apologize. I think he could have gotten away without apologizing.
Oh, when I saw it, I had no problem with it because I heard what the guy said about Travis, and I would have been okay if he turned around and hit the kid.
Did you see the other angle where the kid he slams the cell phone,
And
then
the
he
other
picks
kid
it up,
comes back
and the other kid comes after him? I'm like, what are you doing?
And he didn't hit him.
I know.
He said, "Who's the derogatory term now?"
Yeah. I mean, he puts that kid on the ground. That kid may not survive. I mean, Kelce's a big dude
on concrete, one body slam.
But at that point, you're making a decision. I can give the guy $1,000 for a new cell phone. I can't.
I can't pay his family forever.
His medical fees.
Okay, so question: Kelce, 37 today, better career, Jason Kelce or Jason Bateman? When it's all said and done.
Oh man, that's tough.
Jason Bateman.
I don't know.
I would
Jason
go-
Kelce's one of the best centers ever to play the game, though. No joke.
But isn't Jason Bateman in Ozark?
He is in Ozark. Very good.
And he's got a new Netflix coming out, which looks really good.
Pretty much everything he does works.
Yeah,
too.
I think so.
Yeah,
And he's got the who's the Will guy that's got the
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett's got the podcast with him.
Yeah.
So as big as the Kelce's Brothers podcast is, they've got a massive podcast.
Yeah, what's
too.
it? What is that? Smart idea, smart enough, something like that.
Yeah. I love anything Jason Bateman does, but Jason Kelce's one of the best centers ever to play the game. I mean, it's a ignored spot a lot of times.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's not the best, but he's
I
one
mean,
of the
you
best.
could say he's the best. I don't know who else is in the discussion. Ryan
I
Saturday,
think it's Jason Bateman, and it's not close.
Kevin Mawai,
Ryan Saturday, Dwight Stevenson.
Yeah, Mike Weber.
Mike Weber.
Is he the Steelers guy?
Yeah,
Mike Webster.
Mike Webster, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Kelce's in that discussion though.
He is. But I like him. Personally, I enjoy his podcast, but I would
probably go Bateman though.
I would go Jason Bateman.
I love almost anything he does.
Yeah, and I saw an interview with people that work with him that say that by the time you finish working with him, you have a speech pattern like he does when reading your lines, that he believes when he's directing these things, that you don't read your line perfectly, that you sort of stumble through them and pause in places, that it's more of a normal conversational pattern. And so he teaches you to do that when you're on the set with him.
Yeah.
The daughter in Ozark I saw her being interviewed on some show.
Have you ever seen the movie Game Night?
That might be because she can't act.
Yeah, Game Night. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, with Bateman in it, I think that is such a funny movie.
The dog
Jesse
scene.
Plemons got a good bit in that too.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons is terrific.
Yeah, the dog scene is incredible.
Wait.
Night.
Jesse Plemons, Jesse Plemons, the awkward friend from Friday Night Lights who goes on to become the sheriff in this, right?
That is right. Yes, very good, Jim. He's ugly Matt Damon.
Yeah, Fat Matt Damon.
Fat Matt Damon, yep.
Ugly Fat Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's him.
Fourth down.
I came unplugged. Did we get fourth down?
We got fourth down, yes.
Okay, since it's election day, what would be the better biopic if it was 1,000% accurate, historically accurate? George Washington, which I'm surprised we haven't seen anything on him, or Bill Clinton? And I'm talking a deep dive into all the Clinton stuff.
There's nothing that's going to surprise you about Bill Clinton, though. I mean, like, you can reenact a lot of things you knew about, and maybe it looks different than you thought it did. But I just think you know all his dirty laundry, so there's going to be no surprises in the movie if you live through it. I'll give you one. Like, I don't want to hijack your question here.
By the way, have you seen Shane Gillis' stand-up on George Washington?
Oh, yeah, going through the house.
Oh, my
It's
God.
so good. Shane Gillis is hilarious.
Oh, wow, this is worse than I thought it was.
Somehow, it's worse than I thought it was. That is so good. Did you see his teeth? The last thing you see are his teeth.
That was a secret. Now it's a beer.
I'll tell you one that would be good. I think I did a project in school. You had to pick a president randomly, and I drew Lyndon B. Johnson. If you like, and I've studied him way more than I should because I had to do that project. A biopic on Lyndon B. Johnson would be fascinating. That guy was...
You get a ladybird in there.
He was a power-hungry son of a gun and loved the ladies. He wasn't a looker, but he loved the ladies. He once said, he was quoted as saying, "I've had more women on accident than John F. Kennedy had on purpose." I mean, that was how deep he was into it with the ladies. Yeah. To answer your question, I'd probably go George Washington. G-dubs.
I don't think I'd want to.
Johnson had to have special custom-made pants.
Correct. And he liked to tell people about that. I did.
Yeah. He didn't like them tight.
He did not.
In the crotch area.
No.
Yeah.
He the story behind that is he got measured for them, and he constantly had recorded audio recordings in the Oval Office, and he insisted on it being in the Oval Office, so that was on official record that he had to have special pants. I promise you, this guy,
a weirdo.
He was a weirdo, man.
Yeah.
I think the George Washington biopic
I would agree.
be awesome.
I don't know who you get to play G-dubs.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Does anybody really know what he looked like?
No. Like, I tell you who would look.
I got a $1 bill.
Could Paul Giamatti play him?
Yeah.
He already played, John
Thomas
Adams.
Jefferson, wasn't it? Or
John Adams.
John Adams? Yeah.
Number 2. That right? He was the second president?
Yeah. But I think GW was a big dude, wasn't he?
No, I think G-Dubs was short.
Okay.
I think he was tall for his time, Brown. I think he was 6 foot.
What do you think, Lance? How tall do you think he was?
I think GW was 6'2". And back then that was pretty massive.
6'2". I am wrong.
Yeah, that's
6'2".
massive.
Yeah, that's
back
big.
then.
He could play center.
Yeah, he had to duck going through doors back
I know.
then. All right, that is 4 Downs, brought to you by Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations for lunch or dinner created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His brothers Jason and Chris continue to celebrate his legacy. Get into one of those locations for lunch or dinner. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Thank you, Tyler. Giamatti played Adams over there. Stephen, yes, you're correct. GW was over 6 feet. We appreciate all of you. Smuff 6'2" in the mybookie.ag chat room, mybookie.ag chat room. Way to Wellness can help you slim down. Get ready for 2025 beach season, lake season, whatever you're working towards. Maybe you want to control some blood pressure or cholesterol numbers. They'll do that with our friends at Way to Wellness. Personalized plan that works for you, whatever you're trying to do. There's no cookie cutter plan. Everything's personal. Got friends going by there today to see Leslie and her board certified team. Going to check out some medical weight loss. They've got the injections that are working for so many people right now with the medical supervision that Leslie and her team provides for you. Meal replacements as well. No contract, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation is free. The website is aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey for healthy living.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531.
3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
All right, upset alert time. Coming up in just a second. I always look forward to this. I missed this yesterday because of my weekend trip to Las Vegas. But Quincy Jones passed away back on Sunday. 91 years old. Worked from everyone from Sinatra to Michael Jackson. Did the We Are the World, which I'm told is a really good documentary.
Oh, that's
it was good,
fantastic. Yeah, that's a good documentary.
Waylon Jennings' best part of it.
Yeah, Waylon deuced him.
But I mean, his influence on music. But he's also he's one of those rare members of the EGOT. Won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So
his influence was pretty incredible.
Yeah, wrote a lot of movie. I think 40 movie. What's it called? Scores. Yeah, 40 movie scores. So Quincy Jones, he'll be missed, passing away at the age of 91. Show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision LT. What year was it you made that decision? Was it
2003?
2003.
2003 is when I went to see Dr. Mark Michelson. Used to be located right here at the Summit Shopping Centers, right down the road from us. Now conveniently located UAB Highlands. You can call. You can book that consultation, 205-969-8100. Do you or a family member need to make your benefit selection at work now? Do you know your FSA or flex spending can be used to help you see clearly without the hassle of glasses or contacts? Yes, LASIK at Michelson Laser Vision might be a good choice for you. Book your free LASIK consultation today with Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, to find out if you can use your FSA or flex plan funds to get freedom from the hassle of glasses or contact lenses. These guys will find out for you. It's just one simple call, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
We talked about Alabama basketball in the opening segment. The winner over North Carolina Asheville, 110-54. Sears with 20, again, his 50th 20-plus game at Alabama. 6 guys in double figures. They play Friday night back at home. Arkansas State in town. Brian Hodgson, the former assistant, is back in town. Vermont beat UAB. Vermont plays Auburn tomorrow night in their opener at Neville. Samford got a win last night, as did Gonzaga, who annihilated Baylor in a battle of 2 top 10 teams. That was basketball. Kansas City 8-0. They beat the Buccaneers last night in overtime. No NFL tonight, but 2 MACtion games. First MACtion of the year, right? These midweek games have been Conference USA and Sun Belt.
Yes, I don't think we've had a MACtion yet.
Miami of Ohio, Ball State. probably the better game, 3-1 in the league, Miami of Ohio at 2-2 Ball State, 7 o'clock on ESPN. ESPN 2, 6:30, Bowling Green, 3-1 in the league at 1-3 Central Michigan. McElwain still the coach of Central Michigan. Time has to be running short, right? Is he still there?
McElwain is still there.
Is
yeah.
he? Well, they're 14-point home dogs to Bowling Green.
Yeah, I've got both sides in these games. By the way, last 3 weeks, 37-22 in college football.
That's very impressive.
Yeah,
so that's
good heater going.
That's happening tonight. And I wrote this down, and Brown brought it up too, so I wanted to get this out. Matt Rule said he wanted to bring some outside eyes in to look at both the offensive and defensive side of the football. As Nebraska is now facing 3 games with bowl eligibility on the line to try to get Nebraska back to a bowl game. Those outside eyes have a name now on the offensive side of the ball. Who is it, Browning?
It is Dana Holgorsen, the former West Virginia and Houston head coach. And while he's viewed as a failure as a head coach because he got fired at Houston and most people win at Houston, the guy has been a good offensive coach over the years. I mean, he was part of that Mike Leach group in Oklahoma, right? With Sumlin and
I just remember, Holgorsen, really his stamp was Geno Smith and what they were able to do with that West Virginia offense. Remember the first month of the season, Geno Smith, the Heisman was his. Now he ended up losing it. But boy, those offenses with Tavon Austin and Geno Smith were really good.
Yeah, he was with Leach at Texas Tech, so that's where he and Leach were together. I thought it was that group that was at Oklahoma together, but he was at Texas Tech. So this is a guy that comes from a good offensive background, and while it might not have worked for a head coach, he's generally had pretty good offenses.
Outside eyes coming in there at Nebraska. And if you're wondering, Matt Rule, does that sound crazy that they're about to play their 8th game with bowl eligibility on the line for him, 9th for the program, try to get bowl eligible? I'll give this to College Football Reddit. They came up with this stat. Vanderbilt, by the way, has the longest streak of doing that people have been able to find. They played 19 games with bowl eligibility on the line before they got a win to go bowl eligible. It was 19 games over 25 years from 1984 to 2008 where they had a game that if they won, they'd be bowl eligible.
Okay.
And they went 19 straight losses before they finally got that one win to get them over the hump to get into a bowl game.
That's just, the odds on that are just astounding that you could be that bad.
That you could get to that 5 line and can't get that 6th win. That's where Nebraska is right now, 0-8, 0-7 under Matt Rule in those type of games. All right, it is time for our McCurry Van and Car Rental Upset Alert of the Day, brought to you by our friends at McCurry.
McCurry Van and Car Rental has those difficult-to-find cars, vans, and trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent them, a local rental company you can depend on. And it is right there in North Alabama, Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve that rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
Sound the alarm. College football's upset alert.
Oh, upset alert time. Look forward to this every week. I'll be honest, I enjoyed it a lot better when the Brown Bandit was killing it.
2 years ago?
It was just last year, wasn't it?
Was it just last year? I think
it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago where the Brown Bandit, he only had like 2 misses all year. It was an incredible run.
I thought the Brown Bandit was new to us last year.
No, Brown Bandit was good last year. He was incredible 2 years ago.
Yeah, so maybe 2 years ago you were really good. Last year was great bits.
It was just the entertainment.
Because you had a suitcase last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Better prop budget last year.
Much better prop budget.
Oversized locks.
You start losing games, and
that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's cut there. So Brown Bandit may be in a moment. Let's see the standings. Had an outright winner from Forrester this week. 5-5 now on covers, but another outright winner. Who'd you go with, Forrester? It was EG that gave you the pick, wasn't it?
Wow. Gata.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got after
those
Jaguars.
Yeah. They went to Mobile and got the outright win, which got Forrester 11.5 points in our standings there. I almost had the outright win with Eastern Michigan.
Almost.
A 1 point loss there. Get 5. I'm 5-5 now at 50. LT just missed. Tell the story. It was
It's just Dan Lanning. I don't really get that.
You would have only gotten 5 points.
Let's ask my players, do you want to run it up?
Well, of course they do, Coach.
Yeah.
I would have had you at 43. You'd have still been in third.
I know.
Yeah, but 38
Better
there.
striking distance.
And then the Brown Bandit, 3-7.
Brown Bandit was
covers.
playing against Gus last week, I should say, with Arizona. And I think the first time I saw that game, it was 35-3.
Yeah.
So,
you really not for Arizona?
Yeah, not particularly close on that one, no.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the upset alert standings as we go deep into the season now. Just a few more of these. Week 11. Forrester always starts us off, sometimes with actual teams that are underdogs.
Wow. One time. I do it every time.
Never forget.
That's right. All right, we're going to Winston-Salem for a battle of weird mascots. We got Cal's Oski.
It's a weird bear.
Against a Wake Forest nameless, creepy Demon Deacon.
I drew it once, and it looked like Wimp Sanderson when I drew it.
Yeah,
it does have a little wimp going on there.
Yeah, you don't want to know what's going on in that guy's attic or basement.
I'll be honest with you. The bear scares me worse than the Demon Deacon does.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That is a weird-looking bear.
Well, I thought about this game, too. I mean, Cal's not good, and they're having to come across America again for a short week game.
See, I still think Cal's pretty good.
Do you really?
Yeah.
They have not won an ACC game.
Yeah, much like Auburn, they've not been very good since
the Auburn game.
Since the Auburn
Since
game.
that one game, yeah.
By the way, it's amazing you found that video of that bear. I've never seen that in my life.
He has an Instagram.
Does he?
Yep. Oski the bear.
Oski. Where did they come up with that name, Scott? You want me to look that up?
I don't know. We'll save that one for tradition.
Real quick, I mean, Cal, it is crazy. So they lost in Tallahassee by 5. I still don't know how they lost that game.
I don't either.
The Miami game, the completely 19 or 25-point meltdown.
Yep.
Lose that game by a point. Lose by 2 at Pitt. Another meltdown where they doubled them up in yards. NC State, they lose by a point. Unforgivable, and then they bounce back with a 44-7 win. I think they're about to go on a heater. No offense, Scott.
So anyway, the Demon Deacons are catching 7 there at home. They're going to get it.
I mean, that looks like something out of Revelations. That guy riding a motorcycle with a light on it right at you. He's coming to take me to the Armageddon.
He's coming to take you to the end.
Yeah. Thank you for the scary pick this week.
Oski comes from the cheer they have there at Berkeley. Oski Wow Wow, Whiskey Wee Wee, Oli Mucky Eye, Oli Berkeley Eye, California Wow.
I'm glad you said that.
What an awful cheer that is.
You think anybody knows the words?
No, they can't.
For the record, I try to keep my whiskey away from my wee wee.
Yes. One leads to the other, though, Jim.
It's a good policy.
Does affect one.
Yeah.
Affects both.
In fact, I will go on the record. Maggie is not happy with whiskey wee wee. All right.
I'll go.
I'll put my sword up then.
Yes. Look, Haynes King being out the last couple of weeks has not helped this offense. I think he's going to be back. If not, Jamal Haynes running the football. Every game Miami plays
My
is
gosh,
close.
that's good, Lance. That's one of your best drawings.
And I am taking the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech plus the 11.5.
And a hell of an engineer. Every time I've been on them this year, they've disappointed.
Yeah, every time you've been on him, Brown, I've noticed Haynes King has not been 100%.
He does not play. And sometimes I find that out from Pete Thamel while I'm watching game day.
Yeah. And you always say, why am I making these picks on Tuesday?
Why am I having a pick on Tuesday when Haynes King's getting hurt on Thursday?
So, first of all, good choice on the yellow. You had to choose between brown or bright yellow, brighter or darker than the normal color.
The problem with the highlighter is it really does affect the whiteboard.
Yeah. I can help you with that.
Yeah.
Jim knew how to get rid of it. You have to scribble like a marker.
I think we're ready for new boards, bigger boards.
Bigger boards?
Better boards.
I don't know if we need bigger.
Our boards tomorrow are going to be bigger, and they're going to be better.
That's right.
Bigger boards, better boards.
Is Mexico going to pay for them?
Starting tomorrow, and we're going to make them pay for it. Here are mine.
Okay.
Here's mine this week.
Right. Oh, my gosh, that's good. I just saw your drawing, too.
It is not good.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
I got to think for a second. I forgot who they play.
Good. Great pick, Jim.
I'm sure it's on the CW. I'm going with Virginia this week. Give me Virginia. Plus the 7.5. They're playing Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Only maybe.
Yeah. I feel like Pittsburgh broke last week.
Do you?
Yeah. Eli Holstein, a little banged up.
Just hold it.
Virginia coming off of a bye week. I'm going to go with the Cavaliers here. Cavaliers.
What are you laughing at?
No, it's T-Rex arm. He's trying to get it out there.
Yep. I heard about the costume when I was not here. People were telling me that my gut needed to be bigger on the costume.
Well, somebody pointed that out.
Now my arms are short, my guts are too big.
Yeah.
I can't reach the right places.
Somebody just asked Little T where the pillows were.
I'm bald.
We knew that.
Yeah. Old.
Yep.
Forgetful.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Brown Bandits.
It's been a rough year. I am not going to dodge this.
Speaking of forgetful.
Did the Brown Bandit vote today?
The Brown Bandit can tell you who's going to win the election.
Uh-oh.
Please don't. Not the season you're having.
I have not voted yet, Lance. Intend to do so after the show today. Got to get back to the homestead and go vote there. But I encourage everyone to do your research and go vote. Don't just vote. Go do your research and vote. It's very important to do. I've not been good on the Saturday games. I'm just going to own it. Not been good on the Saturday games.
Have you been good on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
We've
Fridays?
not played any, Jim. Of course, I should because we have to pick on Tuesday. So I ought to start playing Tuesday games.
Well, you can.
I need to. I think that's what I'm going to do from here on moving forward. In fact, is there one I like tonight? I'm just going to go with that. Here we go. I was going to go UCLA plus the 6.5. How do you like that?
Well, I'm going to mark it down now that you're not going with it.
Why don't you not do that?
That's a winner.
Why don't you not do that? All right. I am so tired.
So we got to change.
Yep. I am so tired of
UCLA plus 6.
being forced. That's a Friday game. I was going to go with a Friday game. I am so tired of doing that. I am just going to say tonight, Miami, Ohio. Give me Miami, Ohio.
Are they the underdog?
Nope, you're right.
Wow.
All right, Scott.
Yeah, there we go. You and Forster have something in common.
Yeah, let's hold that over here for the rest of the season.
Here's what's about to happen.
What's happened? What?
Is that there's 2 games tonight, and neither one of them are going to fall into the 4.5 category.
No, they both do.
do.
That's
Okay.
what's fantastic. I'm going to do this on the fly.
Well, we've noticed.
I've noticed you've been on Brown all day, and then I come sit here and you get on me too. What is your deal?
Your eyes are like there's in those eye holes. I get a lot more of your under eye than I do your above eye. Are you having a hard time seeing? I got some under eye for you.
Damn, Dunaway is on your ass.
He really is. I tell you what, I'm going to go Ball State. Ball State, and they are catching 12.5.
That's a great drawing, by the way.
Ball State. I'm not going to draw balls, Lance. Ball State plus 12.5. That is my play tonight. You can watch that game on ESPN. Holy crap, they're putting that on ESPN. It's right after the show.
I don't think ESPN's got a big expectation for a number tonight.
They're like, guys, we got to have something.
Yeah,
on.
and I almost think they went with the first playoff rankings to work out the kinks because
do you believe that?
Well, Dunaway asked earlier, how do you believe they're going to lay this thing out? I don't know if they really know.
Well, they can try it tonight with a smaller audience and say, do we like that? I mean, we can change it next week.
That's the way to do it. I mean, if it's a complete disaster tonight, nobody's really going to notice.
We call that a soft launch.
Yeah.
In the restaurant. Yeah. A soft open.
Yeah. Ball State plus 12.5, Jim. That's my official pick.
Is that our first on-the-fly flip?
Yep, that was it.
Well, technically, since Forrester did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, hold it over Scott's head.
Well, there's a reason why Forrester did it.
If people wonder if we have our pre-show meetings and we run through everything, the answer is absolutely not.
Not one bit.
Nor do we use stencils. Somebody was asking that. No.
They ask that on our drawings?
Well,
somebody did ask that.
Yeah, in the chat room.
I will say every now and then, like my poke for Oklahoma State.
That was a really good one.
My yellow jacket.
Yeah, that's a good one. I had a good Arkansas hog earlier this year. I definitely covered.
Yeah. I've learned that I win when I go with the simpler logo.
Yeah, well, I can't get any simpler than Ball State right here.
Load up on Ball State tonight.
That's right. 12.5. I'll be all in on them.
Yeah, you're right, Jace. I got a theme going with the whiskey wee wee and soft launch. It's all in one segment right here. All right, that's McCurry Van Car and Rental.
McCurryRentals.com is where you start right there, Jimmy D. McCurryRentals.com.
Yep. And we've got our friends from HydroLife here. LT's about to get hooked up. Come on in, man. Bring
that's our quarterback, man. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he's coming in with another bag that looks like it's filled up with some whiskey wee wee. And
I don't know. Whatever he gave me last time, how quick that thing was.
Worked good? Oh, you're talking about how quick it went into you?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about HydroLive as he stabs you.
Yeah, so IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also a location in Tuscaloosa. Mention the next round, 20% off all the great services. So Daniel, real quick, hold on, let me take the watch off. Hey, so what do we got in this bag?
This is what's called the Doctor's Apple. We've got vitamin C.
Vitamin C.
Complex and defensive blend.
Oh.
Defensive blend.
Zofran.
Zofran.
Nausea. Sometimes vitamins can make the tummy upset.
Yeah.
Ward off the common cold and flu.
Okay, all right. Lance is going to be bulletproof.
The Doctor's Apple.
Yeah,
could you hear that at home? Could you guys hear that?
It's a bunch
in the
of stuff in there. Yeah, it's vitamin C.
Yeah. So he's going to live on the air here.
Does anybody else want a bag?
I am good. Thank you very much. Tyler wants
Tyler's
one?
going to take one.
Tyler's going to take a bag. Doctor's Apple? You want the Doctor's Apple, Tyler?
Yeah, I'll do the Doctor's Apple.
Okay.
That's our friends at HydroLive.
Get a cold.
Tell us again about HydroLive, LT. Where can we get this stuff? They come to you, too.
They will come to you. You can go to hydrolivetherapy.com. Walk-ins are welcome, but you know what? If you can't make it to one of the locations, they can send a nurse to your home or business. That simple. Daniel could show up at your workplace, make all the other workers jealous that you're getting the bag. But these are fantastic. Hydration, obviously great going into the weekend, coming out of the weekend, going into an election night where it's going to be a long, long night. HydroliveTherapy.com for more information. Do you guys, I know we're not going to get political, do you think we know when we get here tomorrow who our next president is?
It's probably going to come down to one state. So I'm going to say yes, you do.
Because, obviously we all want this thing we want to get it right.
Oh, sure.
But I do like being able to get up or at least know when I go to bed what happened.
Yeah, I think you'll know. Actually, I'm going to be optimistic about this. I think you'll know tomorrow. You don't think so, Jim? Don't comment on it. You've already wrecked one.
No, I don't like to get political at all.
Well, that's not a political question. It's just asking if we're going to know.
Yeah, it is a hoodie from our store.
Was that political?
No.
And
I just hope the political calls in tomorrow and the texts.
Oh, they've got to. And the commercials.
The texts are crazy.
But when he walked in, he had some tape that looked like 3 stripes in the sleeve, and I thought that was a good alternate look for our hoodies here. I thought that was a good look. Maybe we think about some striping on the sleeves of our hoodies. In 2025.
Like if you're a sergeant in the next round army, get 3 stripes.
Hey, we'll talk about the college football rankings and such when we come back. College football rankings on the other side. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Hemp Hill Services LT, the great heating and cooling. Every night I sit here and going, someday I'm going to turn on the heat. But tonight's not the night, Satan. Another beautiful night last night.
Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. If you have any of those in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over number 2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce number 1, Ryan Williams, late in the fourth quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce number 2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
You can't wait for college football talk every Monday, so we don't make you wait. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. You can catch ESPN's Tom Luganville with Jim Dunaway on Monday Morning Live at 7 a.m. I'm with Brandon Marcello on the Middle 8 at 8 after The Next Round. Hear from Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer and Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. After the coaches talk, Fox Sports analyst Brock Heward joins Lance Taylor for Unlocked at 1 o'clock. All college football, all day Monday, anywhere you get The Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Show 822, all about the college football playoffs, unveiling of the first rankings. I said yesterday, the only ones I really care about, the first one and the last one. And it's a big one tonight for Alabama to see where you slide in with some of the others going into LSU weekend. We'll talk about that in a second. The show brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Stop off and see Sterling, Megan, and that crew down there. A lot of that crew been together for a decade now at the same location. That tells you about what a great place to work it is, the family atmosphere, and the unbelievable food you get. Brined overnight fried chicken, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers, a Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and check them out. Before we talk playoffs tonight, Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 8. Cut number 8. Right now, longest tenured coaches in college football. It includes Kyle Whittingham and Mike Gundy, both in the Big 12. Both of them
having years that they're not accustomed to.
Oh, yeah. Especially Whittingham.
It's shocking. I mean, Whittingham, you can blame it on Rising, but you've got to know coming into the season, there's a chance he's not going to be healthy, and you've got to have a quarterback that is capable behind him. I am shocked. I'm shocked at both. Both.
But Gundy had the most returning production going into the season, including a seventh-year quarterback in the Big 12. And he is catching some heat out there at Oklahoma State now. And he had this to say in his weekly audio news conference about the heat he's starting to catch. Listen in to a classic. It's not I'm 40, I'm a man, but it is on the Mike Gundy side B of his hit album.
This place has had tremendous success for 18 and a half years or 19. I can't do the math real good, and so unfortunately in life, most people are weak. And as soon as things start to not go as good as what they thought, they fall apart and they panic. And then they want to point the finger and blame other people. That you see it happen in everyday life. People do it all the time. That's why I refuse to watch the TV and watch the news, because I get tired of people complaining and bitching about this and that versus just doing something about it and trying to figure out a way to make it better. Well, that's what happens in college athletics. And as Jenny said, she's exactly right. It's just on the bigger stage where people can voice their opinion. And in most cases, the people that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their own family. They're not taking care of their own job, but they have an obligation to speak out and complain about others because it makes them feel better. But then in the end, when they go to bed at night, they're the same failure that they were before they said anything negative about anybody else.
So
I don't understand that.
I don't really either. But basically what Gundy is saying is anybody that's
a troll,
anybody that's criticizing him can't pay their bills and they're a failure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's essentially what he's saying.
That things are tough now, and that he's been there for 18 and a half years. Can't do the math, but that things are tough now. And when things are tough, if you're weak, you panic and you start pointing fingers at other people. And that in this case, he thinks they're pointing fingers at him because things are tough. Ultimately, it's the coach's responsibility. If you're Oklahoma State, what do you do with Mike Gundy?
I mean, I give him a bad year. It's been a pathetic year, but it's been a weird year in the Big 12. I mean, look around. Teams that weren't supposed to be this good, like BYU, there was no expectation. Colorado, outside of Dion and Colorado fans, there was no expectation.
What? When a guy's been there a long time, what window do you use to judge him? I mean, I know it's probably going to vary, but what window? Give me a year window you would use to judge.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at the last five. I mean, you look at the entirety, but
right.
I think the last five, I think, are important.
Last five is fair?
Yeah, I think 5 is a good window.
Okay.
I mean, you'd have to do the same thing for, at some point for Dabo.
Mike Gundy is last 5, 8-3, 6-3 in the conference, 12-2, 8-1 in the conference, 7-6, 4-5 in the conference, 10-4, 7-2 in the conference, and this year he's 3-6 and 0-6 in the conference. I mean, it's been 2 good years. So-so year and 2 bad years.
Yep.
So I don't know what you do with that to answer your question.
I mean, look, they probably need fresh blood sooner than later, just because everything comes to an end, obviously. But I would like to see. He's such a unique individual.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really know any Oklahoma State fans, so I don't know if they like Gundy or not.
I will say this is about to be, Jim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 out of 7 years where he hasn't reached 10 wins. And I would say that is a failure at Oklahoma State. Not to reach 10 wins?
Yeah, I mean 10 wins.
5 out of 7 years.
We take 10 wins for granted here in the SEC but for Alabama fans.
But 5 out of 7, I mean that's a lot not to reach 10
how
wins.
many SEC teams right now haven't won 10 games in 5 out of 7?
I mean 10 is a number. I mean give me at least lower it down to 9, Brown. 9-3.
9-3. I think you're going to have the same exact numbers.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'll just use
it's the same exact number.
What does Auburn have over the last? What did you say? 7 years?
Yeah, that's 7 years. Auburn has had, I think, 2, right? 2 10-win seasons over 7 years.
Yeah, 10-4, 10-4.
Yeah. So I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you're telling me that's too high a number, that's fine. Now you've got to drop the number down to 8. The 9 doesn't do you any good. I think 8's too low of a bar. I mean, I know we're arguing over one game there when you're talking about a coach's future, but that feels like too low of a bar.
I don't know what the expectation at Oak State is. It should be a lot better than they are this year. I thought that they had an opportunity You can just rip it. I thought they had an opportunity to actually get to a college football playoff this year.
So it's only one for Auburn. It was 2017, 10-4.
Wait, so 1 in 7 years?
Yeah. Auburn had a 10-win season in 2013, which was a 12-2 season where they played for the national championship. They had a 10-win season in 2017 with playing for the SEC championship, and they haven't had one since.
Yeah, so I would say right now in Auburn,
it's 2 in a decade.
10 isn't what you're gauging your coach by.
Well, clearly no.
Probably should back it back down to 8 or 9 for right now, and then once you get consistent at 8 or 9, then you start shooting at a 10. At Oklahoma State,
he was consistently there. That's the problem, and you know, as I just showed you, it has fallen off from when he had it there.
I think that's a great point right there.
But I'm like Lance. I do like having him around just so we can play sound bites. You just don't normally hear a coach say, I mean, people are just sitting there bitching.
If you guys took a guess, do you think Oklahoma State fans like him?
I think he's one of theirs. That helps.
That helps, and he's been there a long time, and you always go back to who do you get?
Yeah. So I would say this about Jim Harbaugh, and he was my stock up yesterday. I mean, Harbaugh just knows how to coach wherever he is.
Yeah.
But I think Michigan fans.
It seems like at a point, didn't we question whether or not he could coach at Michigan?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And that's
Michigan
what my point was going to be.
that.
Yeah, Michigan fans were getting, because if you're weird, quirky, very opinionated, as long as you're having success, it's not a big deal. When you start to struggle, and when they were losing to Ohio State, and remember there was a time where Ryan Day can't beat Michigan now. There was a time where Jim Harbaugh couldn't beat Ohio State. And that's when Michigan fans started to get vocal. And then obviously when he starts winning Big Ten championships and ultimately a national championship, everybody's quiet.
I mean, like we are not. I'm just thinking of the big names, Jim, or the hot names you would give this job to, and we're not impartial enough with John Summerall to answer that. We like him too much, but I do think if you gave John Summerall that job, he would win there.
I think he would too. I hope he waits for an SEC job and wins wherever he goes in the SEC.
Well, I would grab that though.
It's a good job.
If you offer Oklahoma State, I would take it.
Okay, college football playoff release show. I got several questions here I want to get to. The show being brought to you by a couple of people. One of them, our friends at Dr. B's office. The whole staff there, including Dr. Beckenstein.
Yeah, Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business when I started to thin out. When we started this venture, I asked around. Everybody said Dr. Beckenstein. Not only did I go see Dr. B, Brown went to see Dr. B. We're both doing the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Dr. B also offering the Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint the delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Call Dr. B today. Schedule that consultation, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Point spreads of note in college football this weekend. The Georgia Bulldogs currently a 2.5-point favorite at Ole Miss, a 55 total on that game. That's the over-under on the game there if you would like to play that one at mybookie.ag. Still, Indiana, a 14-point favorite over Michigan and Bloomington. Total of 49 in that game if you would like to play the total there. And Alabama, still a 3-point road favorite at LSU, a total of 58.5 for the 6:30 kick in Baton Rouge. You can play all those games and anything else, NFL, NBA, college basketball, even the presidential election if you wish. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. When you use code next round at MyBookie.ag, they are going to double your initial deposit. You make your first deposit, you enter code next round, and they double it. They also have deposits there for return users. Like if you've used it and maybe you've had to reload, all right, that happens sometimes. They've got bonuses there for that as well. So try it out, mybookie.ag, code next round to double that initial deposit.
All right. What if I told you there were 7 SEC teams in tonight's top 15? Would you believe it?
All right, so you've got Georgia,
Texas, Tennessee,
Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah. What if I told you there were only 3 SEC teams in the top 15?
Oh, I would not believe that at all. No, there's no chance. That's a zero possibility. It cannot happen.
Zero possibility.
Zero possibility for 3 in the top 15?
Yeah.
So you would have Alabama, LSU.
No, I don't think Alabama would be included in that.
I'm saying these are the teams that are out. Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and Ole Miss are all out.
Yeah.
Georgia, Texas, Tennessee would be the 3 in.
Okay, yeah, Tennessee's in.
It would be everybody else out.
Yeah, I don't think that's at all possible.
No, yeah, I think you're getting the 7, and you're getting. I mean, there's only 4 Big Ten.
Yeah,
yeah. So in order for that to happen, because just in the down at the bottom of the top 15, you have Alabama 11, LSU 14, and Texas A&M 15, and Ole Miss 16 in the AP poll. So if this is close to the AP poll, I mean, you're borderline down at the bottom if they're bumping up some of the other teams.
I don't think SMU is going to get much love.
Yeah, I just don't think. Well, I mean, first of all, SMU's best win is...
They do have a quality loss.
They got a quality loss to BYU. Their best win is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
And that's just not going to get you a long way, I don't think, with that committee.
Okay, but let me go quality wins.
All right.
Here. Army and Clemson, they don't have a top 50 win, according to the power rankings.
I don't think Clemson would be in your top 15. I'm not sure.
They're not going to be in your
will.
top 20.
Yeah.
Clemson won't.
Yeah, Clemson's out of this. I mean, it's over for them.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't have Army and Clemson, not a top 50 win. Indiana, they've got a top 50 win. They do not have a top 40 win.
Indiana, I can play eye test.
Yeah. Top 30 teams with, top teams with no top 30 wins. Penn State doesn't have a top 30 win. Texas doesn't have a top 30 win.
So Texas basically is, their whole resume is based on beating Michigan?
Which isn't a top 30 win right
and
now.
losing close at home to Georgia, or close in air quotes there.
Yeah.
That wasn't particularly.
Yeah,
close.
I mean, look,
Oklahoma's not a top 30 win right now either.
Oklahoma's not even a good win for.
No, I think the best win for Texas is Vanderbilt.
Lance is right. That is a better win than Michigan. It's hard to say that, but he's right.
Yeah. So I really don't know what you get with Texas.
Yeah.
So do you think
because they played one borderline elite team and they got walked off their own field?
No, I mean it is a tough case with Texas, and the only team they're going to playing is A&M. You know, if they lose to this is Texas.
Well, you say that they got to go to Arkansas.
Yeah, but
I
that's
wish
not
that game wasn't 11 o'clock.
That's not going to do anything for you though in the rankings.
No, I'm just saying they
tough
could
place
lose
to play.
that game.
Yeah, but let's just say they beat Arkansas, Jim, and they beat Florida this weekend, and they lose to Texas A&M.
What's their resume?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really stopped to consider that, but a 2-loss Texas team, and they have to go on TV and say, well, why is Texas in? Well, you know, their win against Vanderbilt in Nashville. Yeah. You can't even say it without laughing.
Vandy's got a better win than Texas does.
Over Alabama.
This goes back to something you guys talked about, though. Texas does draw a lot. Is it going to be more about brands and ratings, or is it really going to be about the 12 best teams?
Usually it's a mixture of both, but brand and ratings become very important. Vandy and Tennessee have that quality win over Alabama, so both of them would like to see Alabama win this weekend, I would assume, to keep that quality win alive for Tennessee and Vandy, because Tennessee may need that quality win down the road.
So, watching the Auburn game Saturday, our buddy Taylor Zarzer was on the play-by-play and was talking about how Clark Lee is trying to sell his team on, as a 9-win team, we're going to have this win over Alabama. Let's don't give up hope. We can get in the college football playoffs. Now, I think Clark Lee's out of his mind. A loss to Georgia State's not going to get you in there, but I mean, they were selling. He was trying to sell that to his team, according to Taylor. That's what their
if you took the Georgia State game away, I think you could sell it.
10-2. Yeah,
10-2. They're in the conversation because they would have a better resume than Texas right now.
But I mean, to his point, if you go 9-3, you will have beaten Tennessee at the end of the year. They've got South Carolina. I can't remember who they've got between South Carolina and Tennessee.
LSU on the road. I mean, they're going to lose.
Well, I know they're going to lose, so it's silly to even discuss this. But yeah, I mean, to Clark Lee's point, a 9-3 would be a pretty
incredible. See, I think
resume.
they either beat South Carolina or Tennessee.
Yeah.
Rusty says the SEC tried to give Texas a layup schedule, and they still can't own it.
Well, and it didn't help them that Michigan has turned out to be as bad as they are. Like, if Michigan had played up anywhere close to what you thought Michigan would be, Michigan's going to be a 6-6 team probably.
I tell you what, Michigan's killing a lot of teams.
They
like
are.
Indiana.
Yep, it's not
that would be
them at all.
an awesome opportunity for Indiana to get one of these quality wins, and now they can't.
Yep.
Again, it's not Indiana's fault.
Big 12 and ACC one-bid leagues. You guys are comfortable with that right now?
Well, I mean, I think one thing that complicates it for the Big 12 getting multiple bids is Iowa State has lost, and I don't know how the tiebreaker between Iowa State and Colorado works. Brandon Marcello on the Middle 8 Monday said he thought it favored Iowa State in a head-to-head tie, which would help the Big 12 there. I still don't know about a one-loss Iowa State and a one-loss BYU getting in. But if it's Colorado in the conference championship game, I don't think Colorado can get in with 2 losses.
No, I would ask you guys, though, BYU undefeated loses conference championship. Miami undefeated loses conference championship. Do they still possibly get in?
Miami does. I don't think BYU will.
BYU's played the better schedule.
Yeah, they have.
Yep.
And I mean,
BYU's been more dominant.
Yeah. And in your conference championship game, Miami probably plays a tougher opponent if it's SMU. I think they would be ranked higher than Colorado at that point. But I think Miami. I mean, I think of those two, BYU's played the tougher schedule. I don't know who they would favor over BYU or Miami.
Yeah. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Penn State, those 5, if they take care of their business, seem to be locks.
Well, I think something for Penn State, though, to watch is where are they in relation to Indiana?
Yeah.
Because I think that scenario I played for you guys yesterday, them getting a home game, I think depends on where they're ranked in relation to Indiana. And they may be one spot in front of Indiana, but don't assume with this committee, because committees in the past, now a committee changes a lot, but committees in the past have shown they don't drop teams drastically for losses the way the pollsters do.
Right.
Like if Indiana is ranked, let's say Indiana is ranked 7th and Penn State's ranked 8th. Indiana goes to Columbus, and they play them a good game. I mean, maybe they don't have a chance to win, but it's a good game.
May not drop behind Penn State
May not drop at all. And they
Yeah.
may keep them right in front of Penn State because the committee has done that before.
Yeah. And they say we got it right because we have Penn State 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and
both lost to Ohio State.
It seems like after this weekend, it'll be the first time you can say we can lock in multiple teams to the college football playoff. Going into this weekend, Oregon seems like a slam dunk.
I agree.
But if you were drafting after that, how far do you have to go to Indiana? I would go Oregon, Ohio State. I wouldn't 100%. Go an SEC team until after Indiana. I go Indiana before any SEC team that I can guarantee.
And it's not that I think Indiana's better than those teams. It's just that I know what Indiana has left.
Because going into the weekend, you don't know if Georgia's surviving Oxford. If they win at Ole Miss, then you throw Georgia into that lock category.
Alabama, LSU winner, or Alabama especially, if they win, you throw them in there. Oh, I
think they're in a great spot to win out at that point. But
who could they lose to?
On the road at Oklahoma.
Boy, that's a bad offense. That is a bad offense. I mean, even bad defenses have slowed that offense down.
Yeah. It seems to me, and we talked about this, at 3 spots between these teams: Indiana, Tennessee, Iowa State, Pitt, Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU, and Ole Miss. And obviously, we start eliminating some of those with games.
Alabama or LSU will fall out of that group.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ole Miss could with a loss to Georgia.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like 3 spots with those 6-7 teams.
And Iowa State, I don't know offhand who they play this weekend. But one more loss does it for them because it's a conference loss, and then their path to the conference championship
at Kansas.
Game. Yep. I mean, it's not likely, but I mean, Iowa State hasn't played great. They almost lost to Central Florida. They did lose to Texas Tech.
2-6.
Yeah,
Kansas.
It's a disappointing Kansas team.
So my final question on this, after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors, one of them, Brownie, our friends at Academy Sports. If you're looking for some hunting gear,
no doubt.
Yeah, Academy Sports, the place to go.
Yeah, and a brand new location on Highway 280 in Birmingham, right there in the Target Shopping Center. It's in the old Best Buy. It's the brand new Academy Sports and Outdoors, now open. The best sports equipment, outdoor gear, as Jim said, apparel and footwear from all the brands you love, all at low everyday prices. Wide selection of trusted brands like Nike, Stanley, Brooks, Carhartt, Blackstone, Yeti, Titleist, Shimano, and more. Academy Sports and Outdoors.
And our friends with DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. Let me start first by the 2025 calendar. You always look for these wonderful stocking stuffers or something to put under the tree. You can do that with the 2025 calendar available. Coupon code TNR with 20% off. 20% off some great works you see to the left there from Daniel A. Moore over the years. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. Or you can get the legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban and his 6 national championship seasons. Pre-order now at DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com to go check that out right there with all the great work from our friend Daniel A. Moore. All right. So the AP poll is out, and starting tomorrow, we will not reference the AP poll. It'll be the college football playoff rankings.
I would think so. Yeah. Do you think there'll be a lot of difference, though?
That's the question, Brown. Who are the biggest differences from the AP poll? Here's the top 10.
All right.
Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3, Miami 4, Texas 5, Penn State 6, Tennessee 7, Indiana 8, BYU 9, Notre Dame 10. Let's start with anybody in that top 10 that you don't think is top 10 tonight in the college football rankings.
I think the way you read that sounds a lot like the I think the committee's going to look.
Yeah, I don't see anybody outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I said yesterday, I think
Notre
Alabama
Dame would
will
be
be
the
10.
Notre Dame would be the only one.
I think BYU will be 11
You
or
think
12.
you think they'll have 10? I think they'll. I don't know. I was gonna say
Kansas State losing this past week does hurt BYU.
Yeah.
But again, man, that win on the road at SMU, that's got to help them.
You think they'll have Tennessee that high? The AP poll has Tennessee 7th right now.
I mean, I could see them. I got Tennessee.
It's not a great loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost at Arkansas, but
I mean,
they
let's
did
look
beat
at
Alabama.
But I mean, Notre Dame's carrying that Northern Illinois
it's a
loss
terrible loss
with them.
That's the only reason
Right.
they're in front of Alabama is because Bama's
Yeah,
got
that's
2
why
losses.
I think Notre Dame is the one that would be out.
You think so? Out of the 12?
Well, that's by far the worst loss in the top 25, but definitely in the top 10.
In the top 10, I got BYU. Alabama will be 10. BYU will be 11 or 12. Boise will be 11 and 12.
The second worst loss is Tennessee's to Arkansas.
That is true. I mean, at least Vanderbilt is ranked. That was one of Alabama's losses. And they're at least ranked. I guess they'll be in the committee.
If I'm in the committee, I've got Indiana and BYU both in this top 10. And if they play their way out of it, they play their way out of it. But based on how dominant they've been, I think both have got to be there.
And I say this all the time. It's especially important at the end. But even starting tonight, watch 20 to 25 and see if these teams show up there. Missouri, Vandy, and South Carolina. Because those are 3 wins for Alabama, too, by the way.
Yeah, I think South Carolina should. Missouri should not. I think
South
Missouri's
Carolina's
going
got
the wrong direction.
3 losses.
Yeah,
right?
but I think they're on. My eye test tells me they're a much better team than
Yeah.
Missouri. Now, they're going to play, so we'll find out.
Yeah, like this Vanderbilt-South Carolina game this weekend is an awesome game.
Yep.
It really is. And it's 3-3.
I mean, how many times have you ever said that?
I've never said it. I'll never say it again.
Since South
Ever.
Carolina came to the league, you've never said, this is Vandy South Carolina game's an awesome game.
It's the biggest Vandy, South Carolina since
Ever.
James Franklin v. Steve Spurrier back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Hey, so you're using the point that you're the first person I ever heard say this. I always give you credit for this, Jim, is the committee loves to use the back end of the poll to support the front end of the poll. So what you're saying there for Alabama is when they're popping up these early teams, if Vandy, South Carolina, and Missouri are still in there, it's a good sign for Alabama.
Not just for Alabama, but
especially Alabama.
But yes, Alabama.
They've played all 3 of those.
I mean, it helps any SEC team if at the bottom you find Missouri still ranked, Vandy ranked, and South Carolina ranked, as opposed to, or maybe including, Louisville could be up and in the rankings.
Oh, I think they should be.
Yeah. And, you factor in, am I going to have a Tulane showing up at the bottom of the rankings?
Yeah.
Or some of these, where's Army going to be? Army doesn't have a top 50 win, but they're unbeaten. Are they going to be ranked at all?
It's a feel-good story. I mean, I don't know what they'll do with Army.
They'll throw them in the back end.
I think they will, too.
What do they do with Washington State?
They'll be
one
in.
loss, Washington State. Are they in?
Oh, I got that answer that we have asked multiple times. You went on vacation, but Washington State is treated as an independent. So
they are not even the group of 5 representatives.
They don't even get the group of 5 treatment. So Washington State has to play their way into the top 12,
right,
to be in this.
Hey, by the way, you know what their one loss is?
By the way, not going to happen for Washington State.
Boise State ran them off the field by 21. So again, that goes back to Boise.
That's one reason they won't be in the top 12 because Boise and Washington State, there's not enough space for both of them.
So that's what we're watching tonight, 6:00 Central Time on ESPN, and we'll see Reese and the gang how they unveil that tonight. The first rankings, we'll react to it tomorrow. Trash coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. If you're at Champy's right now, LT, you would have?
I'm a simpleton, Dunaway. I would go with the tamales, the coleslaw, and hell, I'll grab one of those margaritas.
Yeah, you will.
Margaritas. What about you, Brownie, if you were there right now?
Mississippi Delta recipe tamales with the baked beans on the side. I love Sterling's baked beans.
Those baked beans
They are
good.
so good, aren't they? And then I'm going to get a piece of that caramel cake for dessert, a little lunch dessert.
Underrated wings as the appetizer. And I may steal a tamale from Brown or LT.
I'd steal it. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, and then I think I'd go po' boy today. Yeah, get a little bread in me, soak up some of Las Vegas that's still in my stomach there. That'd be fantastic. You can swing by there, Highway 31, and check out the wonderful menu, champyschicken.com,
Highway 119, I should say. I said 31, just off of 31, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew ready to help you. Champy'sChicken.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you. It's the holidays. Give cheer a lift. And at New Balance Birmingham, we got the gift. That holiday vibe? Find it inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Back with you on the Next Round as we get ready for Trash on the Table. LT's gearing up for what apparently is going to be a chilly trash. He's getting ready back
shirt
up.
back on. You got that bag, man.
Yeah, had to take it off so we get the sleeves in from our friends at HydroLive. We appreciate them coming by. Tell them again, LT, how they can find the folks at HydroLive.
Yeah, very simple. Again, Daniel Jones comes in studio for us at least every 2 or 3 weeks. He can come to your home or business, or you can just stop into one of those 2 locations in Birmingham of HydroLive Therapy. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, weight loss therapy, all under one roof. To book that appointment, hydrolifetherapy.com. Very important. Mention the next round, 20% off all of their great services from Hydrolife Therapy. Had to run next door to get a couple of bourbon glasses.
Right.
And they had some Starburst out.
I noticed.
I felt like it was a really good day because it's one of those where it's potluck. You don't know what flavor you're getting.
Did you get 2 reds?
I just only popped one, and I got the strawberry.
Oh, there you go.
Always good right there. Our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing brings us this college football update as I run through some things here. This includes DJ Lagway, quarterback of Florida. Not as severe as first thought. Possibility that he could play this weekend. Lagway, quarterback for Florida, on the road at Texas. That would be a difference maker if he's 90% and playing for Florida.
Yeah, I think if you got Lagway back, the way he had kind of fit into that offense, you could upset some of these teams down the stretch.
Jaden Miava is now your starting quarterback at USC, replacing Miller Moss, who looked really good in beating LSU in Week 1.
And Miava is a guy that, watching him at UNLV and that Go system last year was really good. Barry Odom wanted him to come back, but, got some NIL money to come back up Miller Moss. And, when he's come in a couple of times, the offenses look good. He's got the bye week this week to get ready for, I think it's Nebraska coming out of the bye week.
Just can't believe y'all are having to replace quarterback.
I know. Especially the way he played.
The way Miller Moss started the year, that just blows me away.
And this is an indictment on Lincoln Riley, too.
It is, who's normally a really good coach in that position.
For you gamblers, probably the only reason you care about this, Cam Scatabo is doubtful versus USF for Arizona State.
He's a fun guy to watch, though, even if you're not gambling. That guy plays hard, runs with purpose.
Imagine if you put him in the backfield with our man, Diego Pavia.
Good news for Oregon's national championship hopes. Tez Johnson, the wide receiver, will be back later this year. It was not a season ender, according to Dan Lanning. That's good news for the Ducks. Possibly not until the playoffs, but maybe by the end of the season. Not good news for Texas A&M's playoff hopes. Le'Veon Moss is done for the season with a leg injury. He was 765 yards, 10 touchdowns, and really was starting to heat up a little bit. So they turned to Amari Daniels, E.J. Smith, Emmitt Smith's son, and maybe an increased rotation part for Jerry Bussey, or Terry Bussey, the 5-star freshman who's had 9 carries for 91 yards, but he's been working mostly at wide receiver. Now they're moving him back to the running back position. So A&M is going to go without their best offensive weapon the rest of the way.
We talk about Tyler Warren and how Penn State runs their offense through a tight end. Le'Veon Moss is that guy for Mike Elko and Texas A&M, and you saw him get shut out in the second half this past weekend. And I don't know, man. I had pretty big expectations for A&M. I had a feeling that they would lose this past week in Columbia, but moving forward without Moss is going to be really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Like, that game against Texas has been hanging out there, but it feels like they're limping down the stretch here after what you saw in Columbia, and then, as Lance just said, to lose Moss too.
Yeah, okay. Before we get to trash, the sadness of being a pet owner. I've got a little long-haired Dotson, my Angus. Had a bad checkup yesterday.
No.
They have it's in their genes to have a bad hip, and he's got a bad right hip at the age of 4.5. They're long, skinny back, and he's going to deal with that the rest of his life. And then there's Ben Herbstreit, who you college football fans know have been battling cancer. And Herbie is asking for your prayers last night that this is his best friend, his companion on the road, and a guy who the dog helped him through a mental crisis. Just went through his second round of chemo, hasn't eaten for 3 days. And as Herbie said last night, next 24 to 48 hours will tell a lot. But basically has lost the use of his back legs, and Herbie sending out prayers, asking for prayers for Ben there, gentle Ben.
Yeah, man, that's tough, and if you've ever had to put a dog down, I know a million people have said this, and I'm like, I'm never getting another one. I can't go through it. And then they're so special, and I don't know, man. That's awful.
Yeah. So that gets us to trash today. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit the big button, Tyler.
Congratulations, The Cure, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees 2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
If you are looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Start first. One of Batman's most menacing Batmobiles could soon be yours. Wayne Enterprises has partnered with Action Vehicle Engineering to create a limited run of 10 Batmobile tumblers, each with an exact replica of one used in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy.
Are these street legal?
Brown, funny you ask that.
I mean, it's a natural question.
Sold by invitation only. Each tumbler is expected to take 15 months from deposit to delivery. Every facet of its surface has been carefully studied to match the original, whose initial model was cobbled together from various model car, boat, and airplane kits. Under the hood, 6.2-liter V8 engine. Although it does have all the bells and whistles of a real Batmobile, the car comes outfitted with smokescreen, delivery system, mock gun turrets along with the exterior carbon fiber, sheet metal, fiberglass body. It is not street legal, by the way.
So what do I do with this? I just let it sit in my driveway so the neighbors can look at it?
Better yet,
you can afford this, you can probably afford some like track time or
that's
something.
a good point.
10 lucky owners will have to pony up a hefty. How much do you think the price point on this is?
Tyler knows, right?
Yeah.
I would say if they're only going to do 10 of them, I'm going to say $1.2 million.
I was going to say $650,000.
$3 million.
Yep.
That's going to be a $30 million operation for these folks.
And damn tires on those things probably $10,000
No
each.
doubt.
Yeah, you got 6 of them.
And they're different, too. Like, I had 2 on the front. And you can only buy them by 4, sir. We'll put the other 2 aside for you.
From the Batmobile to the Cybertruck, when an unsuspecting owner rented his Cybertruck out through Turo, he had no idea that his ride would end up in the middle of a high-stakes confrontation with a porch pirate. Now, what is Turo?
Turo, I've used it before, actually, with great success. Turo is like, I've got a vehicle I'm not using. I can offer it up on their app for rent.
It's like Verbo for cars.
Yeah, it's Verbo for cars. I've used it.
Have you rented a car or you've
no, I've rented
out?
a car.
Okay.
I rented one. Let's see. I rented one in L.A. through Turo. I've rented one in Texas through Turo. It's a good website. Now, the problem is, actually, I didn't do Texas, and this is the problem.
So do you get a better deal than you get from...
You do.
Okay.
It's a little bit cheaper, and...
They have nicer cars on there, too.
Generally, they have nicer cars. Now, you got to be careful about, the photos. Like, they could take the photo before it got beat to hell by somebody else that had it. But...
Where do you pick them up?
They have like a meeting
center.
Well, really a meeting area, like
Starbucks.
I'll tell you, the one we rented in L.A. was they gave you a door code. It was at the airport. They left it at the airport in the parking deck. We landed. We went to where we were supposed to go, and there's a door code and the key's in it. And they just give you the door code right before, so they must change the door code all the time. But the key is with Turo is you've got to bring it back. You can't rent and leave it. In a different location.
Now, this incident happened in Florida, close to the renter's home in Brooksville. Quote, about to find out how good Turo's insurance is. Yesterday, my renter saw a porch pirate running to a car with his box, accelerated and crashed into said porch pirate, making a sandwich with the burglar's car in a tree.
I have the video of this, by the way.
All right, let's see it.
Let's watch and react.
I like video. All right. So far, so good.
This is from the point of view of the Cybertruck.
Okay, so the porch pirate is in the Cybertruck?
Or in the Tesla?
In the Tesla.
No, porch pirate is
about to
down the
run
street.
right there. Oh, he guns it.
Cybertruck is chasing him down.
He guns it. Oh, and he's going to... Oh, wow.
Yeah,
citizen's arrest.
I probably would have let them just take the package.
Yeah, I know. It's not my package.
It's not my package, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but not all heroes wear capes.
That is
So
true.
this guy was saving something. It could have been much needed medical stuff.
Well, I tell you what.
Probably just something from Amazon.
Yeah, jar of melatonin, one of our Halloween costumes.
I mean, we made a lot of assumptions
round gear.
there that the guy had stolen something and was running to get in the car. It could have just been the mom was like, you got 30 seconds to go in there and get your wallet.
Now, video shows the moment when the renter drove up towards the house, saw the pirate leaving the porch before jumping into what looks like a Genesis G80 sedan.
That also
Basically,
jumped out at me. That's a nice car, too.
Zero hesitation. Cybertruck driver accelerates up to the Genesis, gets beside it, and you saw what happened. Now, the resulting damage is significant to the Cybertruck. The hood, quarter
did not
pounder.
make it any uglier, by the way.
Wow.
Just as ugly as it was before.
Front bumper and more significantly impacted, according to Turo Insurance. They are trying to handle the case without issue.
Yeah, I thought the story was going to be the porch pirate was driving a rented car from Turo, and I'm like, that might be the dumbest thing you could possibly do. We've got all your contact information and everything now. I mean, all they got to do is run the plate, and the guy's like, yeah, here's who rented it.
So, have you ever heard of somebody getting struck by lightning twice?
Wasn't it?
Lee Trevino did, right?
Lee Trevino.
The dude in...
You're not going to believe this.
Great Outdoors.
This is 100% true. I loosely know a guy, I'm not like close personal friends with him, that has been struck twice by lightning, and he cannot wear a wristwatch because of it. Like any wristwatch malfunctions, and he has issues with computers too. Like computers sometimes act up when he uses them. That is 100% true.
What happens when he puts a watch on?
It just, the watch goes haywire.
He shits himself, Tyler.
Forgets his name for 30 minutes. The watch goes haywire. He cannot use watches. Like, he's got some sort of electrical charge in his body now because he's been struck by lightning twice.
Yeah,
It's like,
crazy. That's
that
100%
guy
true.
Is he a
from Better Call
superhero?
Saul.
Huh? No, he's not a superhero.
What's really fun is to jump in a pool with him.
Would be interesting.
Get your hair stand up.
Do you think he could be electrocuted?
You
Or
mean
do you
like
think
he's,
he
I
could
think
handle?
he's
Could
carrying
he
a,
handle more than a normal person?
Yeah, I
could?
think he's carrying a different electrical charge than the rest of us.
Like if we still fired up, what was our big yellow chair in Atmore called?
Oh, the big yellow mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He'd
you
be
think
like-
it would take more for him?
He'd be like, guys, y'all got to give me a little more. I don't even feel this.
Okay, so anyway, this dude wasn't struck by lightning twice, but he was actually bitten by two separate sharks.
Wow, that's even worse.
Now, while the odds of being bit by a shark are remarkably low, 1 in 4.3 million, according to the Florida Museum of Natural History, one Stuart, Florida man has beaten those odds twice in just over 10 years. Now, more than a decade after his first shark bite, Cole Tashman, you see right there, 28 years old, recovering from another bite he suffered at the same beach. Now, Tashman's first encounter occurred when he was 16 while surfing waist deep at the Stewart Rocks Break in Stuart, Florida, when a roughly 5-foot-long black-tip reef shark clamped onto his right hand. Tashman managed to fend off the shark by striking its head with a surfboard. He then used his T-shirt to make a makeshift bandage, paddled back to shore. Injury required 12 stitches and a cast. Fast forward 11 years. Found himself in a similar yet more severe predicament, same beach, where he was surfing with two friends last week. This time, a much larger 7 or 8 foot tiger or bull shark attached him, chomping on his feet in a single agonizing bite. Quote, I was paddling against the current. My feet are behind me. They were laying flat on the board. About an 8-9 foot either bull or tiger came up behind me and snatched my feet. As he bit me, I looked behind me and I saw him on me. Luckily, I screamed towards my friends. They saw the thrashing. Luckily, they were on a wave right behind me. So once they got on it, I was able to ride another wave in on my belly.
I'd take up golf if I were him, Jim.
Yeah, or stop wearing that meat swimsuit that he's wearing.
I'd find another hobby.
If he takes up golf,
Alligator.
he's going to get struck by lightning twice and not be able to wear a watch.
That's a good point.
So 3 tendons completely torn, 1 partially torn. He ultimately underwent 2 surgeries, received 93 stitches and 15 staples.
Well, he's in good humor, it appears. That's good.
How about this, though? The dude at West Palm Beach said that Tashman is only the second patient he's ever had who's been bitten by a shark twice.
Wow, so we've got 2 at this one hospital?
Yeah.
That's against the odds.
British tourist rescued in Thailand after he fell from a hotel balcony while allegedly intoxicated and covered in shit.
Oh,
51-year-old was staying at a hotel in a popular red light district in the coastal resort city. Now, the Brit who arrived in the country on September 23rd was reported to, quote, be extremely drunk when he returned to his room at the Freelancer Hotel in the early hours of November 4th. Staff said they heard groans and banging in the room, but thought nothing of it until the man's legs tore through the ceiling of an adjacent internet cafe. Now, the cafe was packed with late-night gamers. It was thrown into chaos as the naked holidaymaker cried for help with his legs dangling through the floorboards. Can you imagine seeing...
Yeah.
So this is actually
That looks like
after
Eric
the
Stone
cleanup.
Street
There's
a little bit.
another picture that is much, much worse.
Before he's cleaned up.
Yes, this is after. You can still see his face.
Do you see a little Eric Stone Street, though, from
Yeah,
Modern Family?
I do, yep.
but this is after he was clean. I chose not to pull the before
Yeah,
picture.
thank you very much, Tyler. We appreciate that.
Yeah, paramedics said they found him in a dazed state, covered in excrement while half lodged in the ceiling.
Wow. Is that excrement all over him there, Tyler, the leg that's coming through?
I believe so. In the original picture I saw, it is just everywhere.
Terrified gamers in the cafe were forced to vacate the premises because the smell was, quote, so bad.
Oh, I would imagine.
So Chili attacked my youngest brother's dachshund on Saturday.
Well, that's not a fair fight.
Yeah. Put him against the wall, but he was so scared, like emptied all of his shit in my basement. The basement felt so
he vacated?
bad. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
Chili was out for blood.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by
our friends at Mortgage Right. If you're looking for your first home or final home, these guys, there's no cost or obligation to make the phone call. 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
The little dog okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It was, we both hit the floor. Knew it was coming. Like, he didn't tell me he was bringing his dog until he pulled up. Oh, by the way, I've got Charlie.
Oh, it's gonna be bad news there.
More of our Storm Restoration Roofing college football. Cool uniforms this weekend for UCLA. I think it's a Friday night game.
Yes, it was. Almost played that one, Jim.
Coming up this Friday night, UCLA. They'll wear their 1967 throwbacks as they play host to everyone's favorite 1967 Big Ten team, Iowa, out in Pasadena. That's a Friday night game coming up this weekend.
Have you seen them?
Yeah, it's the traditional blue and gold, but it's
so they don't look much different.
Not much different. They're not as the blue is a little not as crisp as the modern day blue.
Right.
A little more pale blue. They had a significant season in '67. The Heisman Trophy winner. What's his name from UCLA quarterback?
When you say the quarterback, I think Rick Neuheisel and Mark Harmon. It was maybe one of those.
And I think Troy Aikman.
Yeah, before that.
I don't know.
They had a Heisman?
This is 67.
Oh, those things are.
The white jerseys, the white stripes on the jerseys, and God, what's his name? Mike Beebe?
Gary Beeben.
Gary
Beeben.
Yeah.
The best throwbacks were visible on Sunday with the Kelly Green Philadelphia Eagles.
See, I never liked those, LT, because before we had high-definition television, they blended in with the color of the field, the turf at the vet. And I always hated that because it was the turf and the uniforms looked to be the same color.
I think they look great, though. Do you like them now?
Oh, I like them now that we have high-definition television. But back when they wore them, they blended in too much for me. And it seems like it was CBS that had the game, and that was always a little less clear for me. That's Storm Restoration Roofing, our runaround college football, brought to you by Greg from Pell City. Family owned for over 20 years. Greg and his wife, Andrea, they run the company, they own the company, and Greg and his kids do most of the work for the company as well. 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531 for a free no-cost roof inspection. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Central Alabama's most trusted name. They handle not only the storm damage repairs, roof replacements, insurance roofing claims. They do restorations as well. Plus, they do inspections. If you're selling a roof or if you're buying a home, want that roof inspected, go with a trustworthy guy. 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. You guys have something? Nope. There. College football betting odds. I don't know if we had news breaking or something. College football betting odds. Ohio State now the betting favorite to win the national championship.
Well, I think most people think an Ohio State-Oregon rematch would go differently simply because it was so close in Eugene. You ask Oregon to come all the way to Indianapolis, and, I mean, what are the odds you're going to beat Ohio State twice in one season? You're going to go thumbs down.
Yeah. Jack had a little buddy come over Saturday, and Sunday. He got there with a minute and a half to go in the game, and the Seahawks go right down and tie the game up. And I was like, hey, you got to go upstairs. Like, sorry. But as he was walking upstairs, he's like, do you think Oregon's going to win the national championship? No. And he was like, who? And I said, Ohio State. Yeah. I'm going to stick with Ohio State. Offensive line's got problems, but
everybody's got problems, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no team you watch and don't think, boy, that team has got an Achilles heel, that if it shows up, they're not going to win a national championship. Like, I have watched some of these Alabama and Georgia teams over the last decade where I'm like, that team doesn't have a bad Achilles heel.
That's right. It would take them not playing anywhere close to they'd had to play a C- game to lose the game. Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 5, this is starting to bother coaches. I wonder if it's bothering Brian Kelly.
Probably.
We're about to find out, but Alabama LSU is the next game that's being called an elimination game, a playoff game, basically. The playoffs start this weekend for Alabama and LSU. I think we all believe it's an elimination game. No guarantee if you win it, you get in. How does Brian Kelly feel about this being called a playoff game? Here's BK.
Hey, Coach, a lot of people are calling this a playoff game in itself. Do you embrace that kind of talk? Does that give urgency to it, or does it create anxiety and you stay away from that?
Yeah, I think, each game that we play is a new game in itself, and I think it goes to what I talked about. We're much more focused on playing 4 quarters of football. Our focus last week was, cleaning up the things that we needed to take care of internally, and so our focus, where our real work was thinking about what we needed to do better to play at a higher level. Look, all that other stuff is out there, but it doesn't help us relative to what we need to do. And I know there's been other national talks about, this is an elimination game. Well, if this is an elimination game, every game in the SEC is an elimination game. Everybody that has a loss, everybody that has 2 losses, everybody that plays each other, it's an elimination game. So we can kind of put that to rest. This is really about each team in the SEC knows where they're at, right? I mean, the record speaks for itself. This is about you need to play your very best when your best is needed.
He's wrong in what he says.
Well, it's an elimination game.
Yeah, it is an elimination game because you got 2 losses.
Yeah.
I mean, if this were Texas playing Georgia again, that's 2 one-loss teams. This would not be an elimination game.
By the way, they've got a bad loss.
Yeah. Who, LSU?
Yeah.
It's crazy that USC has become a bad loss. But
if they had not lost to USC, and if Alabama had not lost to Vandy,
this would not be an elimination game.
This wouldn't be an elimination.
It would not
for either team.
That's why he's wrong about what he said.
And it would still be, and before people say, well, then it wouldn't be important. And this is one of the reasons it's devalued the regular season. Would be important because the winner would be in the driver's seat to go to Atlanta, win that game, and get a bye.
Yep.
It's a big enough game, whether it's an elimination game or not, that game day is there this week. Brian Kelly was joking on Feinbaum. With Nick Saban coming to town early, will you let him come to practice? He still is a paid employee of the University of Alabama. And he said, we got to be careful with that. We'll let him come to practice. We won't let him in the huddle or inside the football building. And then I think Paul pointed out to Brian Kelly that you wouldn't have that nice football building if it wasn't for Nick Saban.
That is true. He certainly started it down the road.
He did get that thing built down in Baton Rouge. All right, fun weekend ahead. And again, remember, we're all Americans when this is all said and done today, and we'll start rebuilding or building more, however you look at it, tomorrow after the election tonight. Be kind, love each other, and until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.